now imposing new tariffs on Chinese imports.
The president is raising tariffs on a range of Chinese-made goods, including semiconductors, solar equipment, medical supplies, and electric vehicles.
We're never going to allow China to unfairly control the market for these cars, period.
In a Rose Garden speech, the president accused Beijing of unfair trade practices by subsidizing industries and flooding foreign markets. China responded by accusing the U.S. of bullying. Greg Clugston, the White House.
At least 24 worshipers, including 4 youngsters, injured in northern Nigeria after a man attacked a mosque where they were praying early today, resulting in an explosion. Police say the suspect is a 38-year-old resident of the local area, and they say the man confessed that he attacked the mosque, says he did so following some sort of family dispute. News and analysis, townhall.com. Political primaries, not the only contest decided yesterday.
The top prize at Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show goes to Sage, a miniature poodle. Sage beat 6 other finalists, including Mercedes, a German Shepherd who came in second. For Sage's handler, Kaz Hosaka, it's his final time at the prestigious event. After 45 years of competing in 2 Best in Show dogs, Hosaka says he plans to retire. Other dogs in the final round, Comet, a Shih Tzu who won the Big American Kennel Club National Championship last year, Monty, a giant Schnauzer, Lewis, an Afghan Hound, Micah, a Black Cocker Spaniel, and Frankie, a colored Bull Terrier. I'm Donna Warder.
An evidence hearing on tap today for a Utah woman who wrote a children's book about coping with grief after her husband's death, only to be accused later the man's fatal poisoning. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio. Yeah!
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy middle of the week, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Happy Wednesday.
Wednesday it is.
Yes.
And Wednesday it shall be.
Another warm one today.
Indeed.
You love your 90s? Get used to that. But tomorrow, they say it's going to be different.
How different?
A lot different.
Now, because you say different, and I hear a couple degrees.
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no. Would you like to know?
Yeah, I would love to know. You spoiler, you.
Since I'm doing tomorrow's forecast, I'll do today's first.
Okay.
But for today, we're expecting mostly sunny skies and a high of 93. Winds will be out of the north, 5 to 15 miles per hour.
Mm-hmm.
For your Thursday, scattered showers and thunderstorms for the afternoon. Some of the storms could be severe.
Nice.
Partly cloudy with a high of 77. North winds at around 15 miles per hour. Chance of precip is at 15%.
Dang.
New rainfall amounts between a tenth and a quarter of an inch possible unless we get a thunderstorm.
You spoil me, Mr. Weatherman.
That is different. So we got a good chance of getting some moisture and cooler tomorrow. And
Yeah. I'll take it.
Yeah. But today, 90 and 3. It's nice.
I argue that a day like tomorrow is the perfect day to open up the outside pool. It's already cool outside.
That's right.
We've sweat for days. Yes.
Sean likes to eat his ice cream in February.
I do. I love it. Christmas in June is the best.
weirdly enough, he sits out there with he doesn't even drink coffee in a cup. He drinks it in a literally
cupped hands usually. Just
that, or he's got the Mr. Coffee 10-cup thing that's under the coffee pot.
Right.
He just takes that to the park and sits there in the middle and drinks
That's it.
Only in July, though.
What happened to Stanley tumblers?
Oh, they kind of died. They kind of dropped
They're
off the radar.
gone. They're
quick.
completely gone. The last time anybody talked about a Stanley tumbler was about a month ago. There was an incident at a school where a kid beat another kid up with a Stanley tumbler. They used it as a weapon. Yeah.
So it wasn't a hero's
nope.
thing.
Stanley, how far your star has fallen.
Huh.
It's just so funny to me that it was the biggest status symbol of all time. Everybody had to have it for 2 weeks, and then it was just gone.
Well, they were called Stanley Cups.
Well, yeah, but
literally.
Yeah.
The
Well,
Stanley
the
Cup, the
company
Stanley
Stanley, and they make cups,
Which
so they're cups.
turns out not associated with the Stanley Tool Company.
Nothing.
No.
Oh, really? The Stanley drink
Or-
cups, not the Stanley Tool
Nope.
Company cups,
Not associated.
Huh.
Totally separate.
and not associated with the NHL's highest award.
No,
either, the
no.
Stanley Cup.
You don't want to drink what comes out of that Stanley Cup.
People do. Though.
I'm sure they do, but there's been some rough stuff happen to that cup.
Oh yeah. It's
All measure of bodily fluids have seen that cup.
But and not even so much that. That has been avoided because people do eat out of it. They don't use it as that. But what happens to it is it got dropped out of a limo down the highway. It's been in pools.
They don't polish it either.
Oh, they polish it. Oh, it's polished.
Oh.
You ever seen it when they present the cup?
Oh, yeah, it's
Literally,
pretty.
they come out
They
with
don't
gloves
sanitize it
and
then.
Yeah, she's
odor.
pretty. But
Oh no, that cup is and to be honest, the cup you see now is revolved because if you see the cup part is only the
very
bowl.
top. And it's like a massive statue. So
Yeah.
it's like
And those tiers, they come off. Every team that's won the Stanley Cup, their name and every player that was on the team is inscribed on the cup.
Yeah.
Those tiers that you see, there's 4 tiers. Go to the NHL or the Hockey Hall of Fame. There's tiers of the Stanley Cup that are sitting there that are no longer on the cup because they rotate it after so many years.
Sure.
Yeah, they replaced the name.
Yeah, because the cup's 100 plus years old.
In my mind, I'm thinking, well, if they just keep adding to it in 100 years, this statue's going to be
they
20 feet tall.
The tiers and the height is where it's going to be, but they've since retired tiers to put in the Hall of Fame with the. So if you look at the 1920 Canadians or whatever, some of those cup they're all at the Hall of Fame. They're not on the cup anymore because the cup would be literally, the size of a tractor trailer.
Yeah.
But if you go to the NHL, the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto, that's you can see them there. I've seen the Stanley Cup in person once. It's
Have
pretty
you?
cool. Yeah. When I've
never even seen a Stanley tumbler in person.
when I was a kid, I was 14, 13, somewhere around there. In Boy Scouts, we went to Canada for a camping deal up in Ottawa area, and so we actually had a sister Canadian troop. They came down and did stuff with us, and we went up there and did stuff with them. But we went to some camping deal up there and slept in an igloo. That was kind of cool. And but they had some kind of big festival in Ottawa, so they actually brought a bunch of the Hall of Fame from Toronto to Ottawa while we were there.
Nice.
And so I got to see the Stanley Cup. I got to see not the whole Hall of Fame, but good hunks of it, and that was kind of cool. But yeah, I was right there. The Stanley Cup was from me to you. It was pretty cool.
Wow.
So
Nice.
yeah. So and a lot of times too, when the team wins the cup, they have things like when the Capitals won the cup in eight. This is my only experience. My team only won it once. They won in 2018. They literally. The players each get the cup for a day or a week or something.
Oh, really? So they pass it around?
Yeah. So Alex Ovechkin has the cup, and he's going into bars and around DC with his cup with him. Literally, right after they won the Stanley Cup, they're just parading around Georgetown and various.
And that's
towns,
not easy. That's
partying.
a big thing. That's a big cup to carry around.
Oh yeah.
That
particular cup was in a few fountains in DC. That's the Stanley Cup. It ends up in places. I remember one time when the Rangers won the Stanley Cup and Mark Messier came on the Howard Stern show, brought the cup with him. Jackie the Joke Man Martling took the cup and put chocolate, but it made it look like a fake duty and put
Nice.
so there's the Stanley Cup on there with a fake duty.
Uh-huh.
But so it's seen and done many a thing.
Proof positive, even back as recent as 2018, Howard Stern was still listenable.
Yes. Well, no, I'm sorry. That was way before 2018. That was when the Rangers won the Cup. That was like 20-aught something. Or maybe 19-aught something.
It is pretty funny.
Actually, it was Jackie the Joke Grand Marling. It was 19-aught something.
Right. It is pretty funny when you, the world of visual aids, when you bring your Stanley Cup to the radio.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, Greg Birch coming up this hour. So with more visual aids.
We have video.
As I was saying it, I was like, oh, we do visual aids. But we have video.
The hypocrisy is sweet. But we do have video, so we're good.
Wrestling.
Yes. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say wrestling has a cup right now.
Does it?
Instead of
right.
a title, there's a cup.
Stick with the belts, boys.
I'm saying every time I've ever seen a cup in any kind of like pro, like
that's how I know about the rotating of the names.
The grapple sports or whatever. It's like, what are you going to do with that cup?
Yeah.
You need something you can put on you.
Yeah.
Carry it around like a jerk. And
exactly. You look at like the Owen Hart or the Owen from last year.
Unless it's like
it was
a chalice.
You're right.
Maybe it's a chalice and you carry it like
it's
a
like a big like old goblet and
a bowl.
Is it a goblet of fire?
The match is different too because it's round based. It's kind of like boxing,
like the cup.
It's round based.
Yeah.
I'd say more spherical.
Speaking of our friend Greg, I was.
Are they running out of ideas?
Yes.
I mean, if they're like,
yes.
All right, I got a wrestling idea. Let's make the ring round.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
They've been running ideas for a while. Ever since they were like, what if we put a suitcase on the line?
Right. You mean like the Samsonite commercial?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they get the bucket and the towel in the corner and everything.
Yeah. How do they have it in the corner of the round ring?
Don't forget to bring a towel. It's a squared circle, Mike. Everybody knows that.
Oh, okay.
It's a squared circle.
It is ironic they call it the ring and it is square.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a what's his name joke about that? What's his he's dead now. Why do we park on highways?
Yeah,
and,
the name just escaped my head.
Yeah, is that one of his jokes?
I also want to say Stephen Lynch.
Why is boxing
Stephen...
square called a ring? It's got to be a Stephen
Lynch.
Steve. Oh,
I'm telling you, this is the disease.
Stephen Wright.
Thank you. This is the disease that DJs have. We just as soon as it's a murky pond.
Yeah.
And as soon as you try to, it's covered in names. As soon as you try to pick one of those names out, it goes blue, blue, blue.
My brain's a big pile of throw up. It just kind of.
You might have brain worm.
That's right. I could have.
That's true.
Me and Kennedy.
Yep. I think it was pretty funny that the brain. He revealed that the brain worm got into his brain, ate a portion, and then died. It's like, well, there's no nutrition to be found here. I don't know if I'd admit that on national TV, bud.
There's a hole in my brain that can only be filled by you.
You should keep that info close to the chest.
Speaking of our friend Greg, I was talking to him about the whole sandwich debate debacle.
Oh, you breathing that on the radio?
Well, no, because I remember seeing a video about how coffee is actually soup, and I was talking to him about it.
Oh boy!
And because it's
coffee is broth.
It's a broth of a seed or a bean.
But it's a broth. No, it's at the very most. It's a broth. A soup requires bits of food.
Yeah, but
this is the argument that I've had because
if you had to choose between like a juice or something else,
I would say
soup is what it would be called.
I would argue juice because it's expressed. It's expressed through ground beans. So
I think
there's a food theory video about it.
I think I'm just going to refer to everything as solid, liquid, or gas.
There you go. Honestly, I've gotten through most of my life by referring to things as either bigger or smaller than a bread box. It works.
It's all in the liquid category, so we'll just go with that. Let me get to the rundown for today's show. We do.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I have to do something, so Sean's going to have to take over a little early here today. But artist Greg Birch, you may have heard, he's going to join us here in just a few minutes. He's actually got a cool painting he's going to be presenting to the county commission here with our Chaves County Courthouse. So he'll talk a little bit about that and give us an update on everything else that's going on. But yeah, commission meeting's on Thursday, so he's going to be presenting them with a painting.
Very good.
In the 8 o'clock hour, Brian Luck, Roswell Independent School District Superintendent, will join us to give us the rundown from last school board meeting and all that good stuff. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, the Chaves County Federated Republican Women joined us earlier the week to talk about It's Today.
Mm-hmm.
It's their Federated Republican Women meeting is today.
Yep.
They're going to have candidates the candidates for the upcoming primary for the Republicans, all there to speak and meet and greet.
Mm-hmm.
Peppers is doing tacos.
Ooh.
Which are not a sandwich.
All the more reason to go.
And Peppers is on the grill with the tacos and all that. So we'll play that at about 9:15 this morning to talk about that. But it is today.
Mm-hmm.
Usually a week early, but because of the Tuesdays and the Wednesdays, there's like 5 Tuesdays and the month's all up there.
Yeah.
So it's a week off. So, but it is today out at the Convention Civic Center, 11:30. Get on out there, call RSVP this morning, and come have some peppers.
I would argue a taco is more like a loose meat sandwich.
Taco's a taco.
The contents are loose inside. So.
Well, a loose meat sandwich is a loose meat sandwich.
Well.
People just want to call things things.
That's
It
right.
is what it is. Did you invent it? No, then you don't get to call it what it is. Just because you think it's something. The guy that made the taco said, this is a taco. If I want to call a sandwich, I'll call it a sandwich.
I'm pretty sure that the guy who made the taco didn't say this is a taco. He probably said, este taco.
Whatever. It happened. He said, I bequeath this taco.
I mean,
and that's how it is.
Guys, Charles Taco.
That's right.
Founder of the taco.
Invent your own thing and call whatever you want. 7:19. I was going to do something else.
The morning show is a TV show.
That's right. I was going to say something to do that. I was like, yeah, it'll fall flat. 7:19. Here is your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Sunny and hot today, but we will be cooling off quite a bit by tomorrow with a cold front on the way. In the meantime, we'll be in the mid-90s for the afternoon high today. Overnight, a few clouds, low 60s and windy. Thursday, we do have a chance of some afternoon showers and thunderstorms. We'll be in the upper 70s and low 80s. Back to sunshine on Friday with upper 80s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, bless you, 63 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 31%. Winds currently out of the southeast at 7 miles per hour. Mostly sunny. Bless you again. High of 93 today. Winds will be out of the north, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Shifting to the south later this afternoon. Bless you. For tonight, I was going to keep doing it. For tonight, partly cloudy. Expect an overnight low of 60 degrees. South winds at around 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow, as I mentioned earlier, good chance of rain showers. They're talking scattered showers for the afternoon. They could be severe in nature. Partly cloudy and a high of only 77 tomorrow. Winds will be out of the north at around 15 miles per hour. Chance of rain's at 50%, and they're expecting anywhere between a quarter and a tenth of an inch of rain tomorrow, even a little bit more if we do actually get a thunderstorm. 20% chance of showers Thursday night, mainly before midnight. Mostly cloudy, 55 for an overnight low with northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunny on Friday, 89. So back up in it was short-lived, the cool temps. We're back up near 90 by Friday. Winds will be out of the northwest around 5 miles per hour. And then the weekend, hold on to your butts. Sunny and 97 on Saturday. Sunny and 99 on Sunday. And then Monday, officially 101. And windy. So we may see 100 on Sunday or even Saturday, but according to the National Weather Service, officially on Monday, 101 is what they're saying. So we'll see. All right, it is 7:21. We're going to take a 4-minute break. Half of them are political ads, and then we will talk with Greg Birch on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
New Mexico Governor Lujan Grisham has pursued an agenda to seriously impair and remove your Second Amendment rights to use, own, or purchase firearms and firearm-related items in our state. Last legislative session, District 27 Republican Senator Greg Nybert worked effectively and successfully with the NRA and other pro-Second Amendment groups to defeat the governor's attempt to ban or register firearms and accessories. We must retain legislators like Senator Nybert, who has the proven knowledge, skills, and experience to stop the liberal progressives from imposing upon our constitutional rights. Senator Nybert is the only candidate running for Senate District 27 to be rated A and endorsed by the NRA. Please vote to retain Senator Greg Nybert for Senate District 27.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Senate. Bob Reed Pest Control protects you and your home by controlling pests that invade. Bob Reed Pest Control understands the importance of safety in and around your home from unwanted pests. Protect your family's most important investment, your home, and protect your children and pets from the dangers of poisonous bugs and insects. Call Bob Reed Pest Control today and let our fully licensed pest control professionals start working for you and your family. Find us fast in names and numbers. Call 623-5344, serving all of Southeast New Mexico.
Have you been following the campaign for Senate District 32? I'm still undecided.
I voted for Candy Azell before, but after 20 years, she's been in office too long. She claims she's tough on the border, but voted to give free health care to illegals. And Azell even voted to raise her own taxpayer-funded pension 3 times.
Candy Azell?
That's right, Candy Azell. She also voted to implement critical race theory in New Mexico.
Critical race theory?
The bill forces school personnel to take annual anti-racism training and rips away local control of schools and hands it to bureaucrats in Santa Fe. Worse, Azell voted to raise taxes by millions on health care for seniors.
Ouch. Who's Candy's opponent?
Chad Hamill. He's a local business owner and former fire chief in Roswell who is running to secure our border, fix our schools, and keep taxes low.
Chad Hamill. He's got my vote.
Paid for by friends of Chad Hamill.
Artesia General Hospital's Rehabilitation Center is here to help you recover and get back to the activities you love. Rehabilitation services include physical, occupational, and speech therapy, all led by experienced, licensed therapists. From symptom management to patient education, customized home exercise programs, and family support, Artesia General Hospital's integrated approach to rehabilitation is designed to facilitate your best possible recovery so you can get back to work, back to play, and back to life. Learn more at artesiageneral.com/rehab or by calling 575-736-8174.
My name is Pat Boone, and I'm running for the New Mexico State Senate, District 27. My deep-rooted connection to the land and understanding of the challenges facing rural communities make me uniquely qualified to represent the interest of District 27 in the State Senate. I love this district and its people, and I look forward to representing you in Santa Fe. I'd appreciate your Republican primary vote on June 4th.
Paid for by Committee to Elect Pat Boone, New Mexico Senate, District 27, Mark McKay, Treasurer.
Wakefield Oil Company is a name you can rely on with full service at the pump the way it used to be. You can expect service in just 15 seconds. They offer bulk fuel and oil services and even diesel exhaust fluid. Wakefield Oil Company will deliver to farms, ranches, dairies, the oil fields, and more with dependable service you can count on. So the next time you need service or delivery, go with the name that locals have trusted since 1983. Wakefield Oil Company, 311 South Virginia in Roswell. Let them earn your business.
Our values are under attack in Santa Fe. We can and must protect those values, and that is why I stepped forward when Roswell needed leadership in the State House. The governor and her liberal friends attacked the Second Amendment, our education system, and the oil and gas industry, and have failed to protect us or our border. It is time we show Santa Fe that Southeast New Mexicans will not take it anymore. This is Jared Hembry, and I am humbly asking for your vote on or before June 4th so I can continue to fight for the New Mexico we know.
Paid for by Jared Hembry for State Representative.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Men are 6 times more likely to be struck by lightning than women. That's because men are 6 times more likely to wear a tinfoil hat in a thunderstorm. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 7:27, and joining us in studio this morning, officially now, I guess you could say, artist Greg Birch back with us. Morning, Greg.
Good morning, sir.
Of course, for folks not familiar, Greg's been on the show many a time. He's painted he's our resident artist, I guess you could say. 'Cause, all of our art and everything, he's been it all just started because he's a fan of the show.
The new artist in residence.
That's right. But Greg's always glad to have you back on the show, and really why we bring Greg on stuff because he paints everything, but one of his passions is historical and trying to recreate history through art and bringing back a lot of times a lot of projects are buildings that are no longer in existence that you try to basically recreate for people to say, hey, when when people 100 years ago were roaming the lands of New Mexico, this is what they saw.
Yeah.
You know, kind of things like that. So,
and 2/3 of the time when you go to these places, what you get a little document here, and it tells you what the structure looked like, but you don't have an image to go by.
Sure, exactly. So Greg really, and he's, you know, a lot of Billy the Kid stuff, a lot of stuff up north and things like that.
A lot of the Pueblos.
The Pueblos, yeah. He really has gone to various towns, Las Vegas, to name, you know. Plus, you know, you might go to a few Cowboy Hall of Fames and things and find some of his artwork there, and various places. But this time you're going a little bit closer to home with some of our local history here.
Yes, sir. Do you want me to go ahead and show it?
Yeah, let's talk about the courthouse before we get into the other stuff
All
here.
right. This right here is the
cool
courthouse. Well, we always do this.
Play that
game. This is the second courthouse.
Okay.
To Roswell. This appeared how it would have appeared in 1911.
Okay.
This here's the bow finish of what was of that period of time.
Okay.
Now, the bow finish, Mr. Isaac Rapp of the firm out of Colorado that built this one, the bow finish was still coming in before 1911. It was
Okay.
still in the 1800s.
Okay.
Now, the original one, when Mr. Lee purchased Roswell, he purchased the whole land. This was in 1877.
Okay.
So he purchased all of Roswell, and Roswell was going to break off from Lincoln County, which was, you know, it basically went from the west to the east.
Yeah, during the Lincoln County Wars, where you're sitting right now was in Lincoln County.
Exactly.
But Eddy County was Lincoln County, and then they broke them off here, I guess, once it became a state, and then, you know, they broke up.
This was before.
Right before they broke, so Lincoln and actually became Chavis and Eddy and Lincoln, and
right.
And I might even be Lee in there, too. I'm not even sure, but yeah.
Yes. And anyway, they was breaking off from Lincoln County. But in order to do that, they had to have a structure up. This was mandatory. So Mr. Lee, just that lived right over here, donated a partial piece of land that's to the east where the courthouse
Where you
sits
currently
today.
see the courthouse. Yeah.
He donated that. They built, which was called at that time, the Richardson Romanesque style.
Okay.
Now, if this building was built after Romanesque style, which meant that it was more rounded and more concrete than what you actually have here.
Gotcha.
But they were a simpler structure.
Okay.
But it was still after a Romanesque style.
Gotcha. And and this is correct, but I remember I seem to remember Bill Williams, the county manager, kind of telling me, you know, when we were talking about like the architect that designed this courthouse, the one you're seeing today, is also the same guy that designed the one in Carlsbad, but this one's more unique because this one's out of the character of his style compared to
Mr. Isaac Hamilton Rapp. Now,
Okay.
he designed this one in
Okay.
1911.
Gotcha.
Okay. This one here that you're seeing today is called a Shelbyville architecture.
Gotcha.
Style building, which these bricks right here on the courthouse that you see today was actually yellow.
Okay.
That's how they were conformed. And they were, at the time, to give the hint that if you was at a distance, the building would appear white.
Okay.
Because they were this yellowish looking, but they were the lighter yellow.
Gotcha.
Not
So the
just
light hits it right.
bam.
It looks more white from a distance.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So, anyway, I don't want to give all away the history for tomorrow.
Sure. Yeah.
You know.
We got to. You know what? You want the whole story too? Come to the county commission meeting tomorrow at 9 a.m. in the commission chambers. The public's welcome, and they love when they have a packed house. So come visit.
And that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
If you have the chance to come out, I'll give a little bit more history on it. But history is my passion, or history is my gift, and this is for Roswell. right here.
It is so cool, and I know just because I know Bill Williams, I know they're gonna, and I'm sure you've already talked to them.
Yes, sir.
They're probably very excited and appreciative. Because they're fans of the history as much as you are. I think especially when it comes to Chaves County history and
me and Bill, we got to sit down and I got to teach him some things. He was showing me a book on some brands, and I got to teach him some things on those brands that he didn't know.
And he loves that stuff. He's a student of history.
And sorry, but anyway, the whole deal. I would like to do more. Roswell is my home, and this was where I was born and raised. I mean, I was here when St. Mary's was here, the hospital. When Plains Park Theater was Plains Park Theater.
That's almost like a badge of honor of how old like I was born and say, oh, that's old school Roswell. You know what I mean? That's almost like that delineating mark of how old school Roswell you are. If you were born in the St. Mary's Hospital, that's like an instant. Yep, you've got the Roswell cred.
You got Roswell rights. That's right. And whenever the Starlight Drive-In was here, and I mean, even the Park Twin Theater. And we didn't have none of that other stuff that was even up north. I mean, up north was still just up north. But, so there was a lot of memories, and this was one that I was like, man, it took, a good year to really start tracking down some of this history to say, okay, how would things have appeared? How would they have looked? What's the color combinations of the time? And because really you get onto some of this history and it's like the common color was green, because it was just the simplest color to make.
Well, and to be honest, I'm thinking, when you're out in the frontier area, kind of, where New Mexico is, they're thinking more function than style.
Exactly.
Sure. We influence from the various cultures that come through, Spanish to, everything that you see in New Mexico. But at the end of the day, when you need a roof over your head, that's, adobe, grass, brick, that's what they had. That's what they make it with. So
exactly.
And it serves its purpose, but let's face it, that those kind of buildings don't stand the test of time.
No. And see, that was whenever I went down to La Mesilla and met with the mayor and gave that painting over to the town of the courthouse. Excuse me. That's what people don't understand.
Yeah.
Old La Mesilla didn't have any kind of straw or nothing. And they weren't shipping it in because it's too expensive during these periods of time. So the best that they had was sawgrass, buffalo grass.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how come that the courthouse looked, it was only 20 years old, but it looked like it was 150 and fallen down. And it was just because there was no molding enough that when they were making these bricks out there.
Yeah.
And that's even like the old fort because it was built out of the same material that's over there. There was nothing to hold all of this sod together. And that's where straw came in.
Sure.
But they weren't shipping it in.
Yeah. And then as soon as you have weather, it erodes it and destroys it.
Yeah,
so.
and back to the earth it goes.
Yeah, exactly. It's Mother Nature doing what Mother Nature does. But so that's, and so in some respects, what you do as a passion is that much more important because, let's face it, you go into East Coast or certainly Europe and they build these coliseums out of rocks and stones from quarries, and that's why they're there for thousands of years. We don't have that luxury out west like that. So what we have as memories is people's recollections, people's accounts. And that's where Greg's going through and digging through journals, digging through old other renderings, photos, just descriptions based on diary accounts.
And here's a little tidbit.
Yeah.
During Chaves County, whenever they were going to split off from Lincoln County, because Lincoln County was the seat at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever they was going to break off, there was only 343 people in Roswell. That was it. That's what the records show. And that's...
But they had 100% voter turnout then.
There you go.
You can literally knock on everybody's door and say, go vote today.
Yeah. The town circle was literally a town circle.
That's right. So when someone did vote. You go knock on the door. I can see you go vote today.
Ed, we need to have some coffee.
We're missing Ed. Get over here.
But, No, so yeah, I had an event that, and unfortunately, it was George Strait's tour manager, Tom Foote. Me and him was talking back and forth on Facebook, and I had a painting that was going to be of his George Strait 61 singles. This was going to be closer to September that I was going to introduce this painting to him, but his tour manager happened to pass away. The guys of the band said that they were doing a rehearsal. He was kind of feeling a little bit under the weather, and passed away that night.
Wow.
Yeah, just boom.
That's always the. But yeah, sometimes it's sad, but sometimes part of me is like, that dude probably want to go that way. You know what I mean?
He was a nice guy. He really was.
He was doing it with the thing he loved at the moment, and sure, you don't want to drop dead around your friends, but if you're doing what you love when you die, I mean, that's some people. That's all they ask for. You know.
So, I don't know who will be his new manager, who he's going to.
Well, I imagine a guy like
to.
him he's probably with him for 100 years, and at this point, he's doing what he's doing because he wants to. Certainly doesn't need the money to do this. I'm pretty sure George Strait's financially taken care of. So
I'm still trying to put it out there.
Yeah,
but when you do things like this, it's kind of like the Metallica thing. You have to go through stages. You have to go through levels.
Yeah.
To get to the performer themselves.
Sure. There's a gauntlet of people that are vetting and trying to see if legit and everything else. And sure, and that's just it. Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, because let's face it, whenever you're something at that level and there's so many people trying to get at you, you have to have Fort Knox to protect your thing. And that's
plus
George Strait's level or Metallica or any of these levels, that they got Greg times 1,000 trying to pierce the armor here,
And George Strait, he's got his own whiskey brand. Gotta go.
Yeah.
I mean, if you ever hear that song, you'll need to
Well,
listen
and that's
to
just it. These people, we see them as celebrities and people, but in the scheme of things, they're brands at this point.
Yeah.
They're the man or the band or the person is still the person, but if you want anything to do with them, you got to deal with the brand.
Exactly.
And
remarketing.
Exactly. And it's and younger people are now shifting to that, because now you're seeing like sports athletes with logos, and RG3 seems to be one of the ones that kind of like put that into the mainstream world. It seems like to me is one of the first I saw do that kind of thing. But people are brands now too, and that's just but
well, you gotta brand your personality.
Sure,
and that's just where things are going.
But that's a good way to separate that line between personal life and the figure you see and know and love.
Exactly,
the character.
That's how come that 9 times out of 10 the name is not the name.
Yes, yeah.
Sometimes you'll have this weird name, and then you'll go with what Oppenheimer.
That's right.
But anyway, so I've been doing a bunch of brand logoing right now, so there is some things that's in the works. I've sent with Hatch Green Chili, changing up their logo, but there again, everything is copyrighted, so I cannot show.
Sure,
I can talk, but I cannot show.
But you should be seeing, when you see the Hatch Green Chili stuff, you might recognize some of the art as someone local here doing that stuff.
I'm doing. I basically got all the vineyards in New Mexico right now. There's 3 that I haven't done, but doing rebranding for them.
Are they going to let you into Colorado once they catch when you're doing all the New Mexico Hatch Green Chili stuff?
Man, I can't offend my Colorado friends.
I know,
now,
but they're flat wrong when they're trying to claim our green chili. I'm just saying.
I've already sent there was like 3 of them. Hey, you need to do it for here in Colorado. I sent them a bell pepper.
Right? Look, I love you guys, but the chili's ours.
Exactly.
Have your stuff. You got John Elway, give us our green chili.
Exactly. Here's your green chili, a bell pepper.
That's right. So come jock riding on our green chili, claim it as your own.
Well, and that's the deal. I mean, everybody's always picked on New Mexico. They want everything we got.
Yeah.
But no, so I've been doing a bunch of stuff like that. That's how come the other night.
By the way, we talked about big thank you. I didn't get to thank you formally for that. That was really cool.
No,
I was joking, not joking actually, on air, saying you made me far cooler looking than I actually am.
Well, thank you. But no, I was doing some other logos, and anyway, it's what I told Sean earlier. I had my program already opened on my computer, so I was like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and do them because I've already done these other three. Y'all's only took an hour to do.
We're simple people.
Yeah, exactly. And I told him, I said, man, I've seen y'all's face enough. I should be able to draw you in my sleep. But no.
It's not a face you want ingrained in your brain. But thank you. It was very cool.
No, they were cool to do. And I haven't done clips in such a long time that it just felt good to do.
Yeah.
And like I said, I do so many genres of art that.
Sure. Well, and I imagine too, because like you said, you're contracted to do things you're doing, and so you love art, but when you're doing art for other people and have to play by their rules a little bit, it's not. Sometimes you want to play with your own rules and your own fun. You know what I mean? It's like, look, I love art and I'm doing art, and I'll do it for you. But there's days that I want to do it my way, and so I know as an artist, you've got to have that, because if you don't, then it turns into a job, and then you start hating it.
Exactly. And see, that's like lots of people, they have their own little ins and outs and things.
Yeah.
Me, I like to collect fonts. So right now, as of today, I've got 3,245,623 fonts.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fonts.
You want it? I've got it.
So you can relate with like when Sheldon says he create, like from Big Bang Theory, he creates his own fonts.
Yeah, pretty much. Font generator. That's where you go.
That's cool. Well,
but for the public though, come out tomorrow, and
yes,
if you got the time, come out. I'll give a little bit more history about this building, but this is
it's a cool
history.
painting, and I love it. And to be honest, like I see the similarities between what used to be to what we have today. Like, I mean, yeah, there's different people, different things, but there's an evolution to it. Like you could see where we begot this from this. You know what I mean?
You're close.
Yeah.
But to me, this looked like an old time church steeple.
Yeah.
To me, this is something, if you've ever taken a drive through southern Mississippi.
Okay. That's a part of the country I don't have a lot. I've been around the area, but I've never spent real time in there.
And you get back in there on some of those roads, some of those old towns back in there,
mm-hmm.
and you start to see these kind of structures. And to say that we had it here in Roswell.
Sure.
The dome that we have today, I mean, you really don't have that on this.
No.
I mean,
it's a different thing. But that's the cool part. That dome is also in and of itself its own. I mean, they have conservators every couple of years that are going through that thing. It's we have this cool history, even the history that predated what's here, and then currently what's here is just as historic. And
yeah.
That's the beauty of Roswell that people need to come and check out. Everyone knows about the aliens and all this, but you peel back a layer or two, and then you get into the Lincoln County stuff, the POW stuff. There are so many different layers of history
here in New Mexico.
Here in New Mexico, and here in Roswell. You don't even have to go out of town to find some of this.
Exactly. That's how come I was like, man, I've been putting in the miles this year so far.
Now that being
Stick
said,
home.
Yeah. But that being said, too, explore your state too this summer.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, take advantage of this. People sleep on this thing at the Roswell Public Library. That's why I try to say this every time they come on. The Roswell Public Library, thanks to the New Mexico Department of Tourism, you can get this pass that will get up to 6 people at one time into. There's like 20 different places
museums
around the state. They're museums, they're parks. Lincoln. If you want to get into the courthouse and all the Lincoln stuff, that's on there. I believe it includes Fort Stanton.
Yep.
You get into some of the art museums in Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Those are included in that. I feel like the nuclear museum's on there too.
Yes.
But anyway, you check it out like a library book. For one, you got to go to the library. You can't do it online or call in. You go to the front desk and say, "Can I get one of those New Mexico Department of Tourism passes?" And then you check it out. You get it. It's yours for 7 days, and you have to return it in 7 days. You can't renew it. You can't. It's first come, first serve. And then so you got to plan your vacation accordingly. So like the day before you go on vacation or your trip, swing by the library, pick that up, and then if you're going to Santa Fe or Albuquerque or Las Cruces or really any other part of the state, there's probably something there.
And the deal is that all that you're spending is your time and your gas.
Yeah.
Pretty much you get to feel what I feel.
Yeah, exactly. And like just for instance, I know it's about, like if you put 6 people in through Lincoln, it'll probably cost you about $50-$60.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but that's $50-$60 less that you don't have to spend. And there's lunch, or there's some souvenirs, or there's another experience on your trip for you.
True.
So please, and it's all free. And guess what? You technically have already paid for it. This is your tax dollar. So go ahead and check it out. And good news is the library, I don't think they ever run out of them. So you should have one pretty much every time.
Well, seeing like that's some of my native paintings. I've been invited to 3 different powwows.
Mm-hmm.
The one up in Albuquerque, and then another one that's over in Missouri, I believe, is where the other one is.
Okay.
And then there was one that they was going to have in Arizona, and I've got invited to all 3 of them with
cool.
my Indian paintings that I have done. And the one up here in Albuquerque, the lady is one of the nicest ladies that you could meet, and she wanted to show off some of this native art that I actually do. And the experiences are cool, but you got to be willing to put in the miles and the hours on this deal to get to that.
Absolutely.
That level, I guess, if you want.
But I'm going to guess too, for you, that's part of the fun. I mean, yes, the fun for you is in the basement painting, but I think also the fun is the adventure of finding the information when you're turning over the rocks out in the field, so to speak. To me, that's that's because I imagine you probably have a bit of a detective side, and you like watching detective shows, and that probably feeds that side of it a little bit too.
Actually, I watch a lot of History Channel.
Okay,
is what I do.
But again, a lot of that too is a detective uncovering. Especially when you get into some of our New Mexico Billy the Kid. Almost every Billy the Kid type historical piece right now is usually some archaeological or fact finding type episode.
Yeah,
it's not really just here's the details. It's more we're trying to learn more about him.
But that's like the Acoma Pueblo. I mean, I painted that one there. That one is a donation going to them as soon as they're ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
But they got some things that's going on right now, and then they're going to accept that. And there again, that's a lot of government stuff that you got to go through there too for them to. They can't just come right out and accept it because they're a part of a different entity.
Sure. Well, and then anytime you get government and donation clauses and taxpayer transparency, it's you're getting into the level like when people bestow gifts on the president and he can't keep it and has to. We're in that same conversation when you're talking about that.
Exactly.
We got about 3 or 4 minutes here before I need to play political ads. So.
Okay. We're in that season too.
So I definitely want to make sure we give you a chance to get everything in that you do.
Yeah. The only thing is that tomorrow come out to the administration building and come to your commissioner meeting.
Yeah, it's very easy. If you go to the main entrance, if you've never really navigated, because it's a big building, the county admin building there at 1 St. Mary's Place, which is, you just go south, you'll see it right there at the split with the Y there. And then, but if you go to the main entrance, the one with all the doors, go right there to the main entrance, park in that parking lot right there, go through the main entrance, keep walking until you bump into more doors. That's the county commission chamber straight ahead.
That's
where they have their commission meetings each and every month right there. And it'll be 9 a.m. tomorrow. And like I said, the public is always invited and encouraged. The only time they don't let the public is when they talk closed doors with legal matters or personnel. And that's true in any meeting. It's county commission, city. When they talk legal, they go up. But rest of it is public forum and
come out and see a piece of your history in person.
Yeah. And plus they too, they you'll see a lot of, because they honor a lot of different things. You'll get to see, usually the employees and stuff. So they're, it's not all of it is talking the soup and nuts of the government. Some of it really is honoring some great people around town, and almost every single meeting they do that. And so Greg gets to be a part of that part too here. So very cool. But yeah, 9 a.m. is when the meeting starts. I haven't looked at the agenda, so I'm not exactly sure when Greg will be on there, but sometime within that hour or so, he'll be there and come and learn something too. And then, by the way, if you paid attention to the meeting and you're confused about stuff, tune in Friday morning about 8:15. Bill will be on and he'll explain it all to you. So
exactly.
Good deal. And so what's just quick? What's I know we can't go on two things, but what's next big project thing? Is there something in the works right now?
Oh yeah.
Any teasing we can do yet, or is it a little too early?
No, not too early. I've got the Pancho Villa. That one is I've got him already drawn.
Okay.
Just got to find the time to paint him.
Gotcha.
I was letting paint dry the other day.
Gotcha.
But him, and then I've got the Pony Express.
Okay.
So that would be in the Pony Express will be in the museum in St. Joseph, Missouri.
That's cool.
And
people don't realize that's got to be arguably the most historically chronicled, shortest lived thing ever.
Yes.
Like the Pony Express, the legacy of it is actually bigger than the actual Pony. It only ran for
18 months.
Yeah, a couple months, and it was a whole, but it still lives years later. There's not many things in history that have that kind of staying power for something that was really insignificant in the biggest scope of things.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But the last two things that's really big, I don't know if they'll happen this year, but the PBR has moved to the National Western Heritage Museum.
Okay.
This is in Oklahoma. So I'm doing one for there. It's already been accepted. So it will be in that museum. And then the final one is the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Ooh, big time there.
That's where New Mexico will get to hang.
Awesome. Well, we'll have to get back for that update when we can let some cats out of bag.
Exactly.
Well, Greg, thank you as always. Thank you for the gifts as always. Thank you for the cool pictures, and thank you for keeping New Mexico history alive. That's a cool thing.
That's what I love doing. Excellent. And thank you for having me back in the house.
Anytime. We'll see you next time.
All right, sir.
All right. Have fun tomorrow.
Oh, yes, sir.
That's right. Good. If you want to meet Greg, come to the commission meeting. He'll be there, and
I'll shake your hand.
He'll be the guy with the painting.
Can't miss me.
That's right. All right. It is 7:55. Quick break before news. Don't go away.
Senator Greg Nybert is the only candidate in the race for State Senate District 27 with a strong conservative record on border security and stopping illegal immigration. Greg Nybert has voted against free college for illegals. He's voted against professional licensing for illegals. He has stood strong against Michelle Lujan Grisham, turning New Mexico into a sanctuary state for drugs, crime, and criminals. He has fought to end catch and release for violent criminals and will continue to do so. New Mexico is at the center of a border crisis because our laws make us a haven for illegal immigrants, drug trafficking, and cartel activity. MLG's liberal agenda has unleashed terrible harm on our state. That's why a vote for Greg Nybert is a vote to take back our border security. Greg will keep fighting against the march of the radical left that threatens to harm our way of life. Vote for Greg Nybert, a proving conservative voice for State Senate.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Senate.
This is Chaves County Sheriff Mike Harrington. Candy Ezell is running for the State Senate, and I want to tell you why she's the best person for this job. Candy has been fighting for us. As a state representative, she's been an advocate for law enforcement and for the rule of law. She's been voting against Michelle Lujan Grisham's attacks on the Second Amendment for years. And whenever Candy stands up and says no, people pay attention. That's why we need her in the State Senate. She's also been fighting for all the policies that have led us to the border crisis, including opposing catch and release of violent criminals, drivers, and professional licenses for illegals. A vote for Candy Ezell is a vote to restore law and order and to secure the border here in New Mexico. This is Chaves County Sheriff Mike Harrington asking you to vote for Candy Spence Ezell for State Senate District 32.
I'm Candy Spence Ezell asking for your vote in the upcoming Republican primary on June the 4th.
Paid for by Candy Spence Ezell for State Senate District 32.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
Have you been following the campaign for Senate District 32? I'm still undecided.
I voted for Candy Azell before, but after 20 years, she's been in office too long. She claims she's tough on the border, but voted to give free health care to illegals. And Azell even voted to raise her own taxpayer-funded pension 3 times.
Candy Azell?
That's right, Candy Azell. She also voted to implement critical race theory in New Mexico.
Critical race theory?
The bill forces school personnel to take annual anti-racism training and rips away local control of schools and hands it to bureaucrats in Santa Fe. Worse, Azell voted to raise taxes by millions on health care for seniors.
Ouch. Who's Candy's opponent?
Chad Hamill. He's a local business owner and former fire chief in Roswell who is running to secure our border, fix our schools, and keep taxes low.
Chad Hamill. He's got my vote.
Paid for by friends of Chad Hamill.
In a time where humans and technology collide, ineffective technology plagues our businesses, schools, and healthcare environments. DSI Document Solutions has emerged as New Mexico's safeguard from the pains of slowed productivity, providing our nation's top business technology, workflow strategies, and support. DSI is here to boost your productivity and reduce your costs. Get ready for success. Visit our new website at dsinm.com.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Hey, big congratulations goes out to Mason Hicks from New Mexico Military Institute. He is the 3A Boys State Golfing Champion, finishing first with a 2-day total of 158, shot an 80 the first day, 78 the second day. He won by 2 strokes. And by the way, Troy Oswald from Gateway Christian was third in the same field. He finished 3 strokes back of Mason. An outstanding tournament for both of those guys. Meanwhile, and in the team category, NMMI was 4th overall. Dexter was 5th. 3A girls, Dexter was 4th overall. Gateway Christian was 5th. In 4A boys, the Goddard guys were 8th in the team category. Joaquin Sanchez, 16th overall in the individuals. And Mackenzie Jones from Goddard, 13th in the girls' standings. The sports report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
Plunge to debate and proposes bypassing the Nonpartisan Debates Commission.
Earlier this month, Trump challenged the president to a debate before the fall.
Anytime, anywhere, any place, let's go, Joe. Let's debate.
In a new video, the president accepted.
Make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald.
The Biden campaign now says it won't participate in the 3 traditional debates sponsored by the commission. Instead, it proposes a pair of televised debates in June and September. Greg Clugston, Washington.
The latest reports on inflation and retail sales have Wall Street breathing a big sigh of relief. The April Consumer Price Index was up less than feared, rising 0.3% from March. Retail sales in April were flat, unchanged from the previous month. President Biden greenlights more military aid for Israel.
The new $1 billion package of U.S. weapons for Israel will now be reviewed by Congress. Officials say it will include tank rounds, mortars, and armored tactical vehicles. It's the first tranche of military support for Israel to emerge since President Biden delayed a shipment of large 900-kilo bombs last week.
The BBC's Ian McWilliam. Some high-profile Republicans rallying to former President Trump's side as his New York trial drags on. House Speaker Mike Johnson is among them. He was outside the Manhattan courtroom yesterday. Today it's a day off in the Trump trial. More than 120 wildfires burning in Canada, polluting the air across parts of the U.S. Air quality alerts are in place across the Dakotas, Minnesota, as well as Montana and Wisconsin. Watching Wall Street, stocks are higher this morning. The Dow is up 142 points. The Nasdaq Composite Index ahead 74, while the S&P trading 24 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center.
Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
In a court order, YouTube is blocking access to a pro-democracy anthem, the song Glory to Hong Kong, in Hong Kong.
Soon after YouTube's announcement, Hong Kong users who clicked on links to the song were greeted with the message, "This content is not available on this country domain due to a court order." Just 3 days ago, Hong Kong's Justice Secretary Paul Lam lambasted the US-based platform for not removing the song quickly enough, claiming the entire Chinese population was keen to hear why. YouTube had said that it shared human rights groups' concerns that the ban could chill freedom of expression online. It says it's considering an appeal.
That's BBC's Martin Yip. About 100 Filipino activists and fishermen, along with journalists, are sailing to a disputed shoal in the South China Sea. It's claimed by Communist China. News and analysis at townhall.com. More trouble for beleaguered aircraft manufacturer Boeing.
The Justice Department has determined Boeing violated a settlement that allowed the company to avoid criminal prosecution after 2 deadly crashes of its 737 MAX. The jets went down in 2018 in Indonesia and 2019 in Ethiopia, killing 346 people. Boeing reached a $2.5 billion settlement with the Justice Department in January 2021 to avoid prosecution on a single fraud charge of misleading federal regulators who approved the plane. Boeing blamed the deception on 2 relatively low-level employees. Ben Thomas, Washington.
The driver of a pickup truck had slammed into a bus carrying farm workers in Ocala, Florida, faces driving under the influence, manslaughter charges. 8 people among the more than 4 dozen on the bus were killed. Some of the victims were Mexican citizens. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The Travelician, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
Dos Deuce.
Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Indeed.
Weather's nice.
It is.
Gonna rain tomorrow, maybe.
This just in.
Ooh.
Breaking news. One suspect is deceased after an officer-involved shooting. This happened. This was reported about 18 minutes ago on Facebook, but this happened this morning.
Okay.
Roswell Police, Chavez County Sheriff's deputies, and New Mexico State Police currently on the scene of 1300 block of North Main between 13th and College. which is currently shut down to all neighborhood southbound traffic from 19th to 13th. I was going to ask you, because that's your morning route.
I actually remember, and I meant to say something to you, and then I forgot.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I drove past, and they had the whole block, like Farley's, Starbucks, Big O Tires. That whole block there was pretty much taped off this morning when I was coming to work.
Officers responded to 285 North shortly before 3 a.m. after a New Mexico State police officer attempted to stop a white Ford pickup traveling southbound towards Roswell without plates. That's when the driver began to flee at high speeds. State Police Sergeant called off the pursuit a short time later as the vehicle neared city limits, but RPD and CCSO officers were waiting and had spike strips already set up. Successfully deployed the strips in both front tires, but the suspect continued to flee at much slower speeds down Main. The suspect jumped out of the pickup at the intersection of College and Main and ran south towards the alleyway between Farley's and Starbucks, where the officers lost sight of him and began to set up a perimeter to search the area. It says after a short time, the suspect was located hiding behind the Big O Tires adjacent to Starbucks, a lot of free mentions here, with a firearm and refusing to drop it for the officers. After a short time, multiple shots were fired at the officers by officers, striking the suspect, who continued to refuse officers' commands. Additional officers arrived and attempted to use a beanbag shotgun to get the suspect to surrender to officers. After a short time, officers were able to get the suspect in custody, at which medics were cleared to enter the scene and treat the suspect. Medics didn't spend long on the scene as the suspect was declared deceased. One officer was shot in the leg and is being transferred elsewhere for care. Dispatchers notified officers that the white pickup truck was reported stolen out of Albuquerque. This is currently Main is closed between 13th and 19th and will remain closed for some time. The pickup still sits at the intersection of College, so that intersection will also remain closed for some time.
Gotcha. Yeah, I saw the taped off area and all that, and I was going to ask you if you heard anything, and I got too busy forgetting.
So I guess there's no morning show over there because it's access to Starbucks, Farley's, Big O Tires, and other businesses in the area that I won't mention.
They're all closed
will
right
be
now.
Prevented for much of the morning as officers begin their shooting investigations.
Yeah, it was pretty quiet over there. Of course, it's six something in the morning.
Yeah.
It's always quiet, but yeah, I noticed that the lights and stuff. I meant to ask and forgot.
Yeah, because I take.
Well, I'm glad.
I circumvent Roswell to drop my kids off. And
I'm glad. Sounds like, I mean, we have one officer get hit, but nothing sounds like fatal. That's good on that. It's unfortunate that people do these things, but this is what happens. So.
It's a crazy world we live in, man.
It is.
Absolutely.
I need to get the hour going pretty quick here because I got to go judge things later today. So
he's just gonna stand on the street corner and be like, "Nice pants, idiot."
I judge you.
Nice hair, dork.
That's right. That's what I got to do. So we're going to get the hour going here. Brian Luck, superintendent for the Roswell Independent School District, will join us here in just a few. Give us highlights from earlier this week's school board meeting and, of course, other things happening in and around the school district this morning. And then, of course, we'll get you up to date with all the newses and all that stuff, too, here. So let's do this. It is 10 minutes after 8. Let's get you up to date with weather. We'll take a quick 3-minute break. And then on the other side here in about 4 minutes or so, we'll talk with Brian Luck. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Sunny and hot today, but we will be cooling off quite a bit by tomorrow with a cold front on the way. In the meantime, we'll be in the mid-90s for the afternoon high today. Overnight, a few clouds, low 60s and windy. Thursday, we do have a chance of some afternoon showers and thunderstorms. We'll be in the upper 70s and low 80s. Back to sunshine on Friday with upper 80s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Have you been following the campaign for Senate District 32? I'm still undecided.
I voted for Candy Azell before, but after 20 years, she's been in office too long. She claims she's tough on the border, but voted to give free health care to illegals. And Azell even voted to raise her own taxpayer-funded pension 3 times.
Candy Azell?
That's right, Candy Azell. She also voted to implement critical race theory in New Mexico.
Critical race theory?
The bill forces school personnel to take annual anti-racism training and rips away local control of schools and hands it to bureaucrats in Santa Fe. Worse, Azell voted to raise taxes by millions on health care for seniors.
Ouch. Who's Candy's opponent?
Chad Hamill. He's a local business owner and former fire chief in Roswell who is running to secure our border. fix our schools, and keep taxes low.
Chad Hamill. He's got my vote.
Paid for by friends of Chad Hamill.
Hey, this is Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing. Every storm chaser's worst nightmare. You know storm chasers, those out-of-town roofers that descend on neighborhoods after big storms. They come in, do a crummy job, then poof, they're gone forever. Well, a few years ago, our area had a hailstorm, and right on cue, storm chasers showed up. I was driving home from work one evening and saw one talking to an elderly lady on her porch. I said, "Not today, buddy." I did a U-turn, pulled in the driveway, and walked right up to them. I warned the woman who they were talking to, and I chased away the storm chaser. The woman's daughter called me later and said a storm chaser ripped them off a few years ago. She thanked me for stopping this one and chose Trustmark for her roof. Trustmark Roofing. Every storm chaser's nightmare. Every homeowner's champion. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring and roof gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
What made Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico for 2023? Great selection, great savings, and great people. Roswell Hyundai has an amazing selection of makes, models, and model years to choose from. If you can't find it, Roswell Hyundai can get it. And Roswell Hyundai will take any trade. The experts at Roswell Hyundai will work with you to get you behind the wheel of your next dream ride. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do! Come check out the Used Car Supercenter only at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
Every piece of land has a story, written by those who work it. But everyone's story is different. So the question is, how will you tell yours? Behind the wheel of a John Deere compact tractor, mower, or Gator utility vehicle. Run with us and start telling your story today.
Stop by Pecos Valley Equipment in Artesia and Roswell, or visit us online at pecosvalleyequipment.com.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. You burn more calories sleeping than you do watching television. For the ultimate workout, fall asleep in front of the TV. Here's Mike Winters.
I'm an athlete. Good morning. It is 14 minutes after 8 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning, Brian Luck, Superintendent for the Roswell Independent School District, back with us. Good morning, sir. How you doing today?
You know what? Excellent. 2 weeks to go.
You know what?
A week and a half.
I've been hearing that mantra for about a month now. It'd be about Monday morning, my wife, 3 weeks left.
Only 3
2
more.
weeks left.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. It is not only the kids that do that.
No.
The staff do that as well, too. They are ready for a vacation.
Where do you think the kids get their days that they know from?
That's right.
You only got this many left.
Teachers
guys.
are excited. Only 2 more weeks.
That's right. That's
right. No, but yes, people. It's an exciting time. Graduations are going to be happening here before you know in the days. Yep. We're that time of year. Of course, we got to get through this week of sports. We got some baseball and softball.
Track and field,
maybe some blue trophies to talk about at the end of the week. Knocking on wood here.
Nice.
But once we get through this, then we're graduating and all that good stuff here. So it's a busy time of year for kids and schools.
It's what it's supposed to be.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, and by the way, all of that is exactly what it is.
Love it.
We're not talking about those other things.
Nope.
Not even going to mention it.
Nope.
You know,
we were talking about that the other day. It was with somebody, and they were pretty wore down, and I'd made the comment. I said, "Doesn't it feel good?"
Yeah.
And it took them a second, and they're like, "It feels wonderful."
Yeah.
So yes, we're much appreciative of this.
Yep. Oh, by the way, real quick, while we're talking softball, because I know it's going to get a little cluster because of state playoffs this week. Mm-hmm. We're going to be carrying Goddard Rocket baseball playoffs. Their first game will be 9:30 Thursday morning, so we're going to get kicked off the radio a little short tomorrow for that. And then we'll go from there. If they win, we'll keep playing Friday, Saturday, and all that. By the way, I believe we're also going to be carrying Gateway Christian's semifinal matchup tomorrow. And we may even carry some NMMI Colt, depending. Again, this all depends on how schedules work and who wins where. I'm telling you right now, though, Goddard is our priority. So if Goddard and Gateway or Goddard and NIMI are playing at the same time, we can't video because of state playoffs. Goddard will be what we put on the radio. But we're if the planets align and the schedules work out, we got Henry going, we got Kelly going, we got Joby going. We've got 3 of our broadcasting crews that are going to be up there covering Goddard, Artesia, Gateway, NMMI, all of that good stuff. So
yeah, that's neat. So on the radio,
Yes, all of this is on the radio. We are not allowed to do video at this point. That those video rights are owned by ProView, and they will not give them up at this point.
No comment. No comment on that. I will say this.
We did pay for the right to bring the Goddard games to on Friday.
Well, and we've talked about this at multiple occasions. I mean, Gene does such a great job showcasing local kids.
Yeah, we tried.
And it is it's so nice to be able to, if you can't make it to something, or like even last Saturday, the Goddard had won the doubleheader Friday night.
Yeah.
And I needed to get a fix. And so I listened to the Artesia game.
Nice.
And, it's very nice knowing that's there. Again, just a huge thank you and a shout out. I was talking with the guys out in the lobby just a second ago. I said, you've got 2 months to relax. And then come August, we're back at it.
Once we get a graduation, then we have a bit of a hiatus till fair season. Around July, when the fairs hit, we usually get pretty busy there, and then football right after
Let's
that.
go.
So, but yeah,
Looking forward.
Before we get there, we do have a few things between now.
Just a couple. No, we had a pretty good board meeting the other night. I mean, they're all good, but this one we went about 3 hours, so we actually did quite a bit of business. Lots of end of the year stuff.
Is that usually a little long? Or?
They are.
Okay.
They are, and it we knew it going into it. I mean, we did the agenda review the day before, and we were all just kind of looking at each other, and I was like,
Sure. Well, when you say 3 hours, and I'm like, compared to if City Council said that's a short night. So I was like, is that long for you guys?
That's true. Depending on your frame of reference.
Say City Council, that's about halftime. It's 3 hours.
Seventh inning stretch. No, for us that was a little long, but did conduct a ton of stuff. Got some couple pretty big decisions out of the way. Did a site selection for Mountain View that we had.
That one's been going back and forth for a little bit now.
And it was interesting. So we did have an opportunity to look at an alternate site that the district did own that is on Jaffa.
Okay.
The board ultimately voted 4-1 to keep it where it's at.
Okay.
And they had some requests for some potential modifications in addition to that site. So we're going forward. I mean, it was...
Will city or any other have to do any logistics there to kind of meet those needs, or that's pretty much all in place at that point?
The one comment that came up was the potential to maybe run a sewer line.
Gotcha.
And so that's something that we're looking at. That would be the only thing. We do have...
you want extra ones of those if you need them, because if they go down, you don't want nothing to do with that.
Well, and it's interesting. I mean, we do operate off of a septic tank there. I know Berindo Elementary and Berindo Mid, we all operate off.
Those got to be big tanks.
They are.
That's a lot of poop.
And that's
a whole school's worth.
Well, and when they do go out, I mean, it's anybody that has a septic tank. I mean, when they do have issues, they have issues. But
it's never pretty. But
no, and architects came a couple weeks ago for a presentation. They're ready to shift gears and just keep right on driving forward on the site there at the end of Mountain View Road.
All right.
So we're
business as usual.
You bet. We're looking forward to that. We did do some finalizations for our contractor for Nancy Lopez. Should be breaking ground on that here pretty quick over the summer. So coming back ready to talk about
real
that.
Quick, just when you talk about the keeping Mountain View where it's at, does that simplify the because let's face it, if you move a school, even if it's a block or two, that can kind of throw off the whole who's assigned to what school kind of thing, can it? I mean, so does this simplify that? So you're like, we don't have to worry about that now.
Well, in this particular situation, it wouldn't have. They would have been in the same zone.
Okay, so it wouldn't impact one way or the other. Okay, I was just curious about that.
So basically what you're talking about is redistricting.
Yeah.
And we don't say that word.
That's a four-letter word.
That's not normally a good word for superintendents to say, but obviously we have to look. We've got a facilities master plan. I've got a great team that works on that. And they're on it. I mean, that's their job. That's what they do for a living.
You have to do that anyway because population shifts. People move, things happen, and some areas get more populated than others. And education-wise, you have to accommodate for that. So.
Well, and you look and, like if you drive by schools and they have portables, I mean, there's a great need for more space at some of those. And the more they have, obviously, the larger the need.
The greater the need, yeah.
And right now we're in a pretty good spot as far as with all of the remodels. And that goes back into the PSFA process where we build for what we're anticipating and expecting. The states really they hold you to it. I mean, if you say you're going to put 300 kids in there, And then they go back and they look at your population and they want to know why, you're sitting at 192 and you want to build a 300 kid building. That doesn't fly. So we have to do our diligence there and don't mind that at all. But that's part of it. No, that one, it was kind of.
This is why it goes glacial though, because you rather get it slow and right than fast and
absolutely.
wrong.
and in that situation, I mean, the district has owned that piece of property there on Jaffa for years. It was a potential, and now we still own it. It's not going anywhere.
Sure.
So,
and who knows? 10 years or down the road, you'll be like, hey, we just found some great use for this piece of property.
Absolutely. And what a neat problem to have. So, no, looking forward to getting that up and running. But first, we've got Mountain View finished up, Mesa. Getting ahead of myself here.
A lot of Mountain View talk.
I know. Mesa finished up the other day, had grand opening. I mean, they're still doing some work. It's a new project. There's always going to be little tweaks and
anytime things are new, there's going to be hiccups
right.
till you find your rhythm, your routine.
Absolutely. Then kick back with Nancy Lopez. That will be directly behind Mesa. And I'm trying to remember the name of that street that is just to the north there of Mesa. But that's going to be a turnkey project. I mean, they're going to come in, they'll do all of the dirt work. Nancy Lopez is going to be able to keep going on right where they're at, and then when we're ready to move in, we'll move them in and hand over the keys of current Nancy Lopez to New Mexico State Police.
Excellent.
And then they can use that as a training facility and kind of a winner-winner situation. So looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
Then on, like I said, on over to Mountain View, and then hopefully Washington Avenue coming down the road. So when we say there's a lot of planning that goes to this, I mean, we're talking probably 10 years.
Well, and then here's the thing too: is that this is never going to end, folks.
No,
because once they get this, then we start over on the list here because these are resources that constantly maintained, upgraded to meet the needs at the current time, and sure, and let's face it, we're now starting to get into the routine because we've been playing catch up for the last 30 years, getting the facilities, getting all these places up to standards.
Right.
There was, for many reasons, and it was a retirement community for me, and investing in schools wasn't a big a deal 30 years ago as it was now, and things like that. And so we're playing a little catch up from that now. And so now we're getting to the point where all the schools are getting to a point where there should be. Now we're just in the rotation of keeping them maintained, upgrading as they need to, as technology changes, as renovations and innovations happen. We're incorporating some of that into the schools. And so now we're kind of into the regular, now that we're getting through this process here, we're starting to see where it's back to the normal run of just maintaining what we got and keeping it going and up to date.
I tell you, the vision of Mr. Gottlieb and the boards that served past that Mr. Gottlieb worked with in the Public School Finance Authority Association, and how we are able to leverage money with the state where we're picking up, roughly 25% of most of these builds. Combine that with our bond elections and actually building pretty close to brand new buildings across the board for every one of these builds. It's just such a great partnership. And, our local legislators and our senators, thank you to them for helping us and supporting us. And it's a neat thing. And
I get to see it firsthand because like my wife, when we first met, now granted, my wife was a teacher for a few years when we started meeting, but I remember, those first couple of years in the classrooms and everything. And my wife has been at Brendo her entire career. So she's been the same. It's not like she's been in different schools. No. She's been in the same school her entire career. And I can tell you that there's nowhere close to even the same building it was when she walked in.
It was
a
time.
few years ago.
It was time. And walking into Mesa the other day, I mean, it was time.
Yeah.
And Nancy Lopez, and then ultimately down here with Mountain View, and then ultimately with Washington Avenue. I was in Washington Avenue the other day, and I went to the room that I had kindergarten in, and that room's still there. I mean, it looks a little different, but I mean, fourth room on the left, that's where it's at.
Same location.
Location. So hats off to everybody that helps us support it, because it's a lot. I mean,
Absolutely.
we've got
even the philosophy of education and how a building's built has changed. Because, the world we live in now, we didn't think of any of the things we thought of 30 years ago or 20 years ago when some of these, and so it's even evolved through then, because I'm sure plans that were in works, they're like, that doesn't work in today's world anymore. We got to redesign this.
Well, and what was important to a teacher at that particular point in time, even something as simple as a coat hook or a locker or a sink in the back of the room. I mean, some of that's changed. And now, granted, that doesn't make that less of an important factor. It's just for the here and the now.
Sure. It's just knowledge obtained over the times and things. And we're like, hey, maybe it's better to build it this way because it's more convenient for the people that are actually utilizing.
That's right. Well, and God bless our school boards. I mean, they can't win. They can't win for losing, as far as there's always going to be someone that's going to be upset with the decision that they make. But
it's a lightning rod position. It's just no different than city council or mayor. You take all the blame and get very little credit sometimes.
Well, but and hats off to my 5 on this one, because I know they did a ton of work and did a lot of research on their own. And just thanks. I mean, like I said, we're building a great building out there, and I'm excited for it.
And financially, fiscally, the Roswell Independent School District has always been, at least as long as I've been here, pretty well run. We don't have the problems that you hear about other districts around the state, and that is a true testament to the board members over the year, the ones that are currently sitting there, the ones that have been sitting there over the last 20 years and various things. They have been good stewards and good protectors of the assets and resources of the Roswell Independent School District, and fostering it so that the resources are around for years to come. And yes, that people get mad at them because of this thing, or didn't my kid do this, or do not do this, or whatever it is, or hired this and didn't do this, or change the book to this book, or whatever it is. We can all argue about that. But the fact that we're not in fiscal trouble, that your kids will go to a fine school, that's almost all of them are in pretty good shape right now. I mean, like you said, there's 1 and 2 we're still working, but all that's a testament to the great work that boards have been doing over the years. So yes, big thank you to this board that's sitting now, and to the ones that have been sitting in there over the last 20 years.
Lots of vision went into that. So we're really, really blessed with that. We had quite a few recognitions that started off our meeting. So shameless plug, first one happened to be a young lady named Addison Luck, recipient of the Golden Apple Scholarship Award for future teachers.
Nice.
We honored the Charlie's Angels with their 16th state championship.
It's starting to get regular. I mean,
I tell you what, but
the thing is, it's so special. I'm afraid we're almost, because it's so commonplace, people expect it now, and you don't realize how unusual to have something like that win in and out every year. And don't get complacent, because that is amazing.
When you hand that down to the next generation of girls, and that pressure kind of continues to, I really think it may be more difficult for this group to continue because
you almost have
tradition.
To keep the baton going. It's like, no, you're expected to win.
Absolutely.
This isn't you're striving to win. It's like you're starting. The bar is very high.
It is.
Yes.
And Kim Castro and her team have done such a great job. So it's so funny whenever those girls come in the upperclassmen, because when they walk in, they've got all of their rings on their hands.
They're blinged out.
So at graduation, I learned last year that you don't fist bump the Roswell High kids, because
not if you don't want to see your family doctor later.
You're liable to wind up. But if you shake their hands, that's a different story, because all that, I mean, it's not a real strong shake, because they just can't. But a neat opportunity.
Absolutely. But please, what I'm telling you,
don't take it
for
granted.
What you have is special.
Don't take it for granted.
I know for us, it's almost like, well, shoot, they win every year. Yeah, you don't get to see something. And we're not talking state champs. They do that too. Right. We're talking the best in the country for 16 straight times.
Well,
you don't name any other entity in any sport that has 16 straight championships.
Well, so I don't know that it's straight. I think there was a year somewhere out there, but
give me, other than maybe the Montreal Canadiens in the National Hockey League.
I'm going to tell you what.
Close.
When they realigned the classifications and the Angels were bumped up into the higher class, I guarantee you that didn't make APS very happy. So excited for them.
Yes.
We had some powerlifting representatives from Goddard and Roswell High that had won some state titles. Yaritzi Palma from Goddard, 132 pounds. Luis Ortiz from Goddard, 198 pounds. Matthew Castillo, Roswell High, 123 pounds. And I think this might be his third time that he has won that.
Awesome.
We had a young lady by the name of Judith Cariano, who was fourth place in the state Spanish spelling bee.
Awesome.
So
I can't spell English words.
I'm telling you, that is a competition right there. I was able to attend that for my first time a few years ago, and I mean, I was extremely intimidated.
I would imagine
by the professionalism and the rules and the sense of following all of the policies. I mean, it's a neat deal. So to have we believe that's our highest finisher.
That's amazing to have that result. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool thing we had. Let me backtrack. CWA representatives brought them in. We finished up negotiations with them, so their contracts are complete, ready to rock and roll for next calendar year.
All right.
Then we had a group of kiddos from Goddard that had competed at the Skills USA competition up in Albuquerque. And so I had brought them in ahead of time. And so as people were walking into the board meeting, they were out in the parking lot actually constructing parts of a building. So they had the wood out and the hammer and the nails and following
people
up
just
the
got to see them in action while they come in.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, this is what it looks like at their competitions.
That's so cool.
And we had a lot of really positive feedback on
Hope
that.
some other kids saw that too. Maybe inspire them to want to be a part of that.
I tell you what, I watched them up there that day in Albuquerque, and we had a 2-man team versus one of the schools. I think had like 7 or 8 kids. And I look over, and our guys have like 4 boards put together, and this other team has like the walls and the roof, and they never let it intimidate them. And I think they took second or third place up there in that particular competition. Beat a school that had quite a few more kids that were doing it. But just kind of the whole redesign that we're working on with our high schools and reminding kids that it's okay to maybe not do the college thing.
Sure.
If that's not your thing, don't go do it. Don't waste that money.
There's other ways to
exactly.
But this is the world we live in. It's evolving, and this is a good thing.
That's a great thing.
This is, not to say there's anything wrong with doing the traditional path and going to college and doing, but for some people, their brains and the way they adapt and the way they do things, that's just not how it works for them. And so so if their skills are with their hands or with their with their creative side or if let's give them training and give them experience that fosters that which they love and do that. And so that's where schools are starting to learn and think. It's like, you know what? Not everyone works in this cardboard cutout of what we expect success to be. It's on many levels, and college is always a good thing. But for some people, it's not needed.
Right.
And this is what we want to say. You know what? Maybe you're one of those people that college isn't the best thing. You need a trade school, or you need military, or you need some other form of after school training.
Well, the other piece to that is we're trying really hard to elevate their successes to the same level of recognition as what you would get. So, like at graduations this year, I know Roswell High had a pathway completion ceremony the other night, where if you were in the different pathways, i.e., degree plans, and that's kind of a shift. We're starting that a little bit earlier. They've got recognition. So as they graduate, though, some of them will have different cords around their neck and different type of medals or garb around their graduations, just so that, because it is just as equally of a big deal for that as some of the other things that we're honoring for.
And I would even argue, and I'm getting big picture philosophical here, is the world is changing. Technology is changing. What we do, and with AI and the computers and all this, I think we're going to see a shift over the next 50 years where the jobs are going to go in that direction. And quite frankly, I'm not sure if colleges currently are equipped to train for those kind of things. And so this is where the alternatives come in, the other things. And so I think we're going to see in the next 50 years a shift in what colleges do and how they offer. And I just think just because the way the workforce is going, the way technology and what people are, we're having less and less people do work like running shop. I mean, there's always going to be a place for that, but at some point we're going to be steering people training and not how to do this, but to how to do this. Right. And so I know I'm getting very blank here, but I think we're going to see a shift in how people are educated and how they access education here in the future.
What we're looking for, and it's so probably give or take about 10 years ago, I attended a conference in Nashville and started seeing something. We're well behind the curve when it comes to this. I mean, I was watching schools that were doing these things, and as it's taken a while, but it's also a redesign of our thought process as a town. And I say town because they're our kids, that we have to be okay with on the same playing field as far as, really putting the support in, and kind of getting away from the shift of, well, if you can't do this, then you get to go do this.
Sure.
It's because you want to this, then we're going to pour the same amount of resources after this, and then we're going to champion and celebrate what you're doing. I know at every one of the economic meetings that I've been to, I mean, our town is screaming for qualified, certified workers that are able to be where they need to be on time, and to do the job. And they're willing to take, our industries and our businesses are willing to take and finish the training. Just give us the raw product that has a desire.
And then we'll polish it to our needs.
That has that desire and the want to. And I'm telling you right now, we're as close as I've ever seen it to really being able to do something special. And just to tout that and just continue to grow that community.
And it makes sense because evolutionary, it makes sense. It's like, this is what we should be doing because this
I mean, you look at our businesses.
This is what the futures are going.
We've got, Leprino, we've got other, the base. I mean, all of the businesses that occur out at the base. And then even some of our, I don't want to say smaller because I don't want to offend anybody, but I mean, we have shops and businesses here in town that are, there's always help wanted signs out. And it's educating our kids that, what? Maybe you will stay here. And since that is a pretty good possibility, why don't we get you hooked up with a good way for you to make a living for your family, and that you can enjoy some life out of that. So,
and let's face it, you leave the area, life's different in other parts, even in our own country. You might realize the grass ain't greener, and you come back here where you're more comfortable, and that happens all the time. And so, let's get you settled here.
Yeah,
so,
Well, and I'll go back to that first scholarship. I mean, that's part of the Golden Apple Award is that you're going to work in New Mexico, and we're going to pour a little bit into you, and that's okay. But you're going to pour back into us. And I happen to know that young lady, and she's okay with working in New Mexico.
New Mexico has done a fine job of giving Texas, Utah, Arizona, and various other states some qualified individuals. Let's keep a few of those in
It'd be nice for them to stay here. Yeah. So I know you were on a tight schedule. Just a couple quick ones real quick. We did get our final audit report. It did pass.
I'm sure there was I don't care. Even the people know it's good. When they say it's good, everyone goes, phew.
Oh, well, and it's, yes. And that's one of those deals, and it's a housekeeping deal. But we always want to make sure that no one thinks that we're trying to do something or slide something by. So did get that through. Cindy Gutierrez's operating a budget for next year. Made it through us. I know their board had already approved it, but because they fall under us as well, got that taken care of as well. Lots of evaluations. Would like to kind of do a quick shout out. So had some private donations. So again, anything over a particular dollar threshold has to go before the board. Sure.
So that transparency thing.
So Southwest Region Air Gas Scholarship, the Roswell Air Gas, Propane Education and Research Grant, and then Devon Energy. And a lot of these aren't like a gazillion dollars. I mean, $2,500, $5,000. But every dollar does count.
Everything's an investment.
And it does go to what we're able to do for our kids.
And it's also, we love to show that, especially when we talk about industry and oil and gas, and, we have sentiments and thoughts on that in this part of the country. And this goes to show that, this is where I make the point, and not him so much, but me. This is where I say, when we talk about oil and gas and the bad guys and all this, and because that's what they like to portray you to, you forget these companies are invested in the communities. Their people live here. They work here. They're part of this. They get involved. They're, this is, and I'm not stupid. They're fostering their own future as well by getting applicants and people that are going to come work for them afterwards, and that's why they do these things. But at the same time, that money, that oil and gas is being invested directly back to our future right here, and that's an example of that.
Well, and a lot of times you don't. You equate that a lot with like a Carlsbad or an Artesia, and then the further south and east you go. Roswell has a lot of connections there, and we're very blessed. Even in our districts, might not have some of the big ticket things that you could see at other places, but we do think. I mean, we've got a lot of companies that sponsor our kids in different things. So really excited about that. Just want to give them a plug. Probably will be my last thing, and that's okay for today. You mentioned graduation.
Yes.
So this is
all important. People care very much about this. So
well, and they should, because this is the big deal. So all of our graduations this year will be at the Wool Bowl.
Okay.
And we're going to start off Thursday night with University High School at 6, Goddard High School Friday night on the 24th at 7. Early College is going to graduate at the Wool Bowl this year on a Saturday morning at 9 o'clock.
All right.
And then Saturday night, we'll finish it up with Roswell High School. As with any year, I can guarantee you that the prediction for weather for that night will be
it'll be cloudy. It'll be
a 30% chance for thunderstorms blowing through early with mild evenings. And
you set your watch to it.
And you know what? I bet you next year on that date it'll be the same thing.
Y'all could move graduation to December and we get a thunderstorm.
I guarantee you we would. But I would just like to remind people that if in the event of inclement weather and we do have to come inside, it is a limited capacity.
Yeah, once we hit that, kids, and then the fights start on which grandmas get in and which don't.
And I'll tell you what, we're sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have any other explanation other than the gyms hold what they hold.
Yeah.
And we're sorry.
We do not have an NHL or NBA franchise where we can have a 20,000 seat arena sitting here to host graduations and stuff like that indoors.
Well, and like some of your Rio Rancho, Cleveland High School, I mean, they don't even try outside. They are going to graduate at the whatever they graduate. And each graduate gets like 4 tickets. That's it. Have a great day. So
we like to do it at the Wool Bowl.
We're giving it a shot, and it is such a neat time for our kids and our families.
But it's even great where, the early college and some that, let's say, they don't have a class of 300-400 people.
Right.
They still get to bring everybody, even though their class is a lot smaller. And the Wool Bowl now, granted, it's going to look a little tiny in there compared to,
I tell you what, I'm going to say probably not, because I know
they got a lot of family.
They bring a lot of people.
Well, good. Well, they get to bring more. But let's. Hopefully the weather will be perfect and we'll be able to pack the Wool Bowl. And of course, to my knowledge, we're doing the streaming like we normally do of all the graduations and all that.
And that's huge. That is such a big deal because you've got a lot of people that may or may not be able to climb the steps.
Yeah.
And or get there at a particular time.
Sure.
Because they start lining up about 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're back doing it. I haven't heard them plan it yet, but we're always there, and I think it's just part of what we do. So
I love it.
We'll be there,
and we appreciate that.
So
too.
I'm a radio guy. I don't know all the video stuff. So I try, and they say you go back to the radio.
Go back to the radio.
Yeah. Is there anything else we want to mention?
You know what? I'm good. We've got we continue through the summer. We'll have June meeting, July meeting, and
okay. So we'll keep people updated throughout the summer as policy and things change during the summer and get added and all that good stuff.
You bet.
And but we're in that time of year, kids getting out pretty quick and all that. We just had the kindergarten roundups. Hopefully everybody got signed up and all that. But if you have any problems, don't hesitate to contact your school and let them.
Probably give or take about next Monday, Tuesday, if you're near a school. It's not just the school, not just the early morning and the 3 o'clock. I mean, be on the lookout. Lots of awards assemblies, lots of. Slow down, please.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more traffic, a lot more families at the schools as they have graduations and various things at each of the schools.
Well, and be patient when you're doing some of those too. If these are not professional party planners. These are teachers that are just trying to honor their kids.
And they're planning about 27 different things.
That's right.
And trust me, especially when you get in the elementary age, get in a room wrangling 25 kids and tell me that there's going to be a few cluster moments.
Well, you left that one, and I can't touch it. So
kids be kids. That's all I'm saying. Thank you, Brian.
You bet.
All right, it is 8:46. We're going to pause for news. some more political ads to pay for lunches and what have you, and then we'll be back. Actually, it'll be Sean, because I'm going to book it to Bitter Lake, so I got to go do some judging. So we'll be back. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Now, your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Street pavement improvements are taking place through today on a portion of Urton Road in northeast Roswell. The work is occurring from East 19th Street to just north of the entrance to the Roswell Country Club. Street pavement improvements are taking place again, a separate project, beginning Thursday and Friday. That's on Military Heights Place in North Roswell. That work will occur between West Country Club Road and Military Heights Drive. Access to the homes and businesses will be provided during the work on both streets. Other traffic, however, is being detoured. Roswell police getting reports of a local resident getting a scam phone call. The caller claims to be an RPD officer and uses the name of a real RPD officer. The scammer tells the person there was a warrant for their arrest and they needed to pay a certain amount of money or they would be arrested. This is a scam. Never send money in any form in response to such a call. Also, never provide any personal or financial information. Law enforcement does not make phone calls of this type. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Hey, big congratulations goes out to Mason Hicks from New Mexico Military Institute. He is the 3A Boys State Golfing Champion, finishing first with a two-day total of 158, shot an 80 the first day, 78 the second day. He won by 2 strokes. And by the way, Troy Oswald from Gateway Christian was third in the same field. He finished 3 strokes back of Mason. An outstanding tournament for both of those guys. Meanwhile, and in the team category, NMMI was 4th overall. Dexter was 5th. 3A girls, Dexter was 4th overall. Gateway Christian was 5th. In 4A boys, the Goddard guys were 8th in the team category. Joaquin Sanchez, 16th overall in the individuals. And Mackenzie Jones from Goddard, 13th in the girls' standings. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell Talk FM 106.5.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Sunny and hot today, but we will be cooling off quite a bit by tomorrow with a cold front on the way. In the meantime, we'll be in the mid-90s for the afternoon high today. Overnight, a few clouds, low 60s and windy. Thursday, we do have a chance of some afternoon showers and thunderstorms. We'll be in the upper 70s and low 80s. Back to sunshine on Friday with upper 80s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
All across America, this is the Lou Dobbs Business Report.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Wall Street up so far this week, and the Dow back on track after yesterday's gains. The index up 125 points, the S&P up 25, the Nasdaq climbing to a new record high. Investors brushing off yesterday's producer price index report. The April producer price is up more than expected, and we get another round of inflation data today. The April consumer price index likely higher, up 3.4%, and still well above the Fed's target of 2%. Today's consumer price index update, the second to last before the next Fed meetings in June. Jerome Powell reiterating this week that the Fed is in no hurry to cut interest rates. New retail sales data today, minus autos and gas. Sales slipped an estimated 0.6% from a year ago, down sharply from the previous month. And Comcast offering a new streaming bundle. It includes Peacock, Netflix, and Apple TV Plus, another major media alliance packaged as a better value for consumers. Comcast looking to boost subscriber numbers. Comcast lost 487,000 TV customers. Please join me twice each weekday for the Lou Dobbs Business Report right here.
Business news you need to know. Keep listening for more. This is the Lou Dobbs Business Report.
I've been hearing a lot about Lang Insurance. They sell luxury home insurance to high net worth individuals in all 50 states. Call Kevin Lang at Lang Insurance, 866-964-4434. He's an expert in reviewing your current coverage to save you money, leaving you with your current insurance company or moving you to a less expensive one. And clients rave about his skills and the diligent professional service he provides. Your call, they quote, you save. That's 866-964-4434 or visit Lang, INS, NewMXCoUS.com.
In southeast New Mexico, our state senator Greg Nybert has a strong conservative record, supporting the right to life, working to protect our conservative values, and standing up for the Second Amendment. That's why he's endorsed by the NRA. Greg Nybert has a record of opposing the liberal progressive Santa Fe agenda. He has consistently stood against illegal immigration, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham's harmful progressive agenda, and policies that try to take away our rights and freedoms. He has stood up for us time and time again, especially when our rights have been under attack. Greg is a champion for our communities, our values, and our way of life. Greg Nybert has a record that we can count on. He is a strong supporter of our oil and gas jobs, which is so essential to southeast New Mexico. We need Senator Greg Nybert in Santa Fe. He is a proven, committed conservative and a strong voice for eastern New Mexico.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Senate.
Martine's Capital Cafe in Roswell offers authentic and highly rated New Mexico food. Explore their amazing menu featuring huevos rancheros or asado with eggs or their green chili stew. And you can't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger, all made from scratch using their finest and freshest ingredients. Open for carryout with curbside delivery or limited dine-in. Just call ahead 624-2111. Martine's Capital Cafe, always pleasing the most refined palate. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th in Roswell.
Jim Townsend is a strong, proven leader, committed, a man of integrity, and a forward thinker. I have no doubt that Jim will serve in the best interest of District 54 citizens, as well as be the voice we need in Santa Fe. My name is Samara Esquivel. I am a wife, a mother, and professional. Please join me and vote for Jim Townsend on June 3rd.
This ad is paid for by the committee to elect Jim Townsend, Nora Boskus, treasurer.
Are you or a loved one having a hard time getting to your medical appointments? At Artesia General Hospital, we believe that transportation should never be a barrier to good health. That's why we're excited to announce our new non-emergency medical transportation services. Each of our vans is wheelchair accessible, and our friendly certified drivers go the extra mile by meeting you at your doorstep and ensuring a comfortable ride to your Artesia General Hospital services. Rides are available Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Schedule your ride today by visiting artesiageneral.com/transportation or calling 575-736-8211.
Our values are under attack in Santa Fe. We can and must protect those values, and that is why I stepped forward when Roswell needed leadership in the State House. The governor and her liberal friends attacked the Second Amendment, our education system, and the oil and gas industry, and have failed to protect us or our border. It is time we show Santa Fe that Southeast New Mexicans will not take it anymore. This is Jared Hembry, and I am humbly asking for your vote on or before June 4th so I can continue to fight for the New Mexico we know.
Paid for by Jared Hembry for State Representative.
A good night's sleep is so important, and issues like sleep apnea make falling asleep and staying asleep nearly impossible, but we can help. I'm Dr. Sarah Usher at Carabelli Dental. With the help of a simple oral appliance, your sleepless nights could be a thing of the past. But don't take my word for it, just ask Lainey.
My name is Lainey Smith. I wasn't surprised when I found out I had sleep apnea simply because I had a horrible sleep pattern. I attempted to use the machine and it drove me nuts and I could not sleep with it. And then that's when Dr. Agger told me about the oral appliance. I would suspect I've been using it for 2 years now. In all of that time, I've had less than 10 poor nights of sleep. It's a complete game changer. I feel a lot better because I sleep.
This simple appliance can change your life. Call us today to set up your appointment so you can finally get the good night's sleep you need.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell or call 575-622-4455.
My name is Pat Boone and I'm running for the New Mexico State Senate, District 27. My deep-rooted connection to the land and understanding of the challenges facing rural communities make me uniquely qualified to represent the interest of District 27 in the State Senate. I love this district and its people, and I look forward to representing you in Santa Fe. I'd appreciate your Republican primary vote on June 4th.
Paid for by Committee to Elect Pat Boone, New Mexico Senate, District 27, Mark McKay, Treasurer.
It's Kubota Orange Days. Shop the year's best select Kubota tractors, zero-turn mowers, and utility vehicles, including the #1 selling compact tractor in the USA. And now, through June 30th, Get 0% APR for 84 months and up to $2,500 off BX23S tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Visit Amigo Machinery, located at 2801 Southeast Main Street, Roswell.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. A group of 12 or more cows is called a flink. If you have only 11 cows, that's called a lot of cow pies. Here's Mike Winters.
Nope. Here's Sean Smalls, filling in for Mixmaster Mike Winters, who had to run to judge a competition over at Bitter Lake National Wildlife Refuge, all to do with the Dragonfly Festival coming up in just a few months. Gosh, this year is just flying by. Hey, real quickly, wanted to put this on your radar. The 2024 Summer Concert Series. It's back at Ruidoso Downs Racetrack and Casino. We're talking about a lineup of fantastic acts that are going to heat up your summer even hotter than it's already going to be up in the cool pines of Ruidoso. It all kicks off with Stoney LaRue and JD and the Badlands Band. That's going down May 25th over at Ruidoso Downs Racetrack and Casino. That's part of the Tequila and Margarita Festival. Now, you can log on to raceruidoso.com for tickets and event info, but it's going to be happening there at Ruidoso Downs Racetrack and Casino, the 2024 Summer Concert Series, presented by Pecos Valley Production. Hey, stay tuned. Next hour, we're going to replay an interview that Mike had earlier this week with the Chaves County Federated Republican Women, getting to hear all about all the fun stuff that they have on the radar, and I think today is the day as well, so something to keep in mind. Also wanted to remind you that coming up this Friday, May 17th at 6 o'clock, and then again on Saturday at 4 p.m., Cise Baila have their annual recital, Viva Mexico. That's going to be going down this Saturday. That's happening at the New Mexico, or with the assistance of the New Mexico National Guard Armory. Tickets are $12 for adults, $7 for the kiddos, and that's Cise Baila's annual recital, Viva Mexico. Happening there, I believe, at the New Mexico National Guard Armory. This actually doesn't say where the thing is happening, so we're going to assume out there at the Guard Armory. Cise Baila should be a definite must-see event. It's always awesome to see those young dancers come out and do what they do and keep tradition alive. You love to see it. If you missed any portion of the program today, you can always go back and check it out in its entirety over at ksvptv.com. Just click on the Mornings with Mike Winters tab, and you can see this mess in its entirety. If you want to check it out piecemeal, coming up after the program, young Roybert will have the videos up piecemeal, which each interview up over on our social media at the Facebook page for 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Got news coming up after this. You're listening to a morning with partially without Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Stay tuned.
Your home for Coast to Coast AM in Roswell, 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Wall Street flying high this morning, getting a boost from the latest inflation report. The government's consumer price index rose 0.3% in April from March, and that was less than feared. Retail sales did not budge last month. They were unchanged from March.
The number followed a revised 0.6% pace in March, according to Commerce Department data released today. Retail sales rose 0.9% in February. That comes after sales fell 1.1% in January, dragged down in part by inclement weather. Excluding gas prices and auto sales, retail sales fell 0.1% in April. Online sales were down 1.2%, while business at electronic stores was up 1.5%. Sales at home furnishing stores slipped 0.5%. I'm Bernie Bennett.
It is a day off for the Trump trial in New York City. At the close of business yesterday, Mr. Trump again blasting the gag order imposed by the judge. The former president says it's unconstitutional. He also insists he committed no crime, adding that many legal analysts agree.
Will Shaw, highly respected lawyer, hush money. It's not a crime. Signing an NDA is not a crime. By the way, Congress, everybody in Congress have NDAs. NDAs are very common. Non-disclosure agreements. They're not a crime.
President Biden wants to do away with the traditional election year debates scheduled by a nonpartisan commission.
3 presidential debates in September and October have already been scheduled by the commission, but Joe Biden says he won't participate. Instead, his campaign proposes a televised debate in June and another one in September before early voting begins. Donald Trump, who already challenged the president to a debate anytime, anywhere, any place, has also complained about the nonpartisan Commission on Debates. Greg Clugston, Washington.
On Wall Street, the Dow is up 204 points, NASDAQ ahead 139. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
The Justice Department accuses Boeing of violating a settlement, allowing the company to avoid criminal prosecution after two deadly crashes involving its 737 MAX aircraft.
The MAX crashes, one in Indonesia in 2018 and another in Ethiopia in 2019, killed a total of 346 people. After that, Boeing and federal prosecutors struck a deal that required the airplane manufacturer to meet certain safety conditions for 3 years to avoid criminal prosecution. The company also paid $2.5 billion. But that agreement ran out in January, just days after a panel blew off an Alaska Airlines Boeing 737 MAX airliner, reigniting questions over quality assurance. It's now up to the U.S. government whether to file charges. Many relatives of the victims say they do want to see criminal claims against the company.
That's the BBC's Helena Humphrey reporting. News and analysis at townhall.com. A proposed water rights settlement for several Native American tribes in Arizona.
The settlement has taken a significant step forward with introduction in the Navajo Nation Council. It's the first of many approvals needed to finalize a deal that's been decades in the making. The Navajo, San Juan, Southern Paiute, and Hopi tribes are seeking water from a mix of sources, including the Colorado River. The price tag would top $5 billion, making it the costliest agreement enacted by Congress if it's approved with no changes. The settlement also provides some certainty over the Colorado River supply in a state that has been forced to cut back on water use. John Scott report.
The Biden administration telling key lawmakers on Capitol Hill it is sending more than $1 billion in additional arms and ammunition to Israel. Earlier, President Biden put a hold on another transfer consisting of 3,500 bombs to the Jewish state as it continues to battle Hamas. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. So they go guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The Travelician, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Trace and Viernos.
Of a morning without Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday, my dudes. And you know what that means. Actually, I don't know what that means. It means halfway day, hump day, whatever day you want to call it. Just so long as you get up, you get at them. Doggone it. Make it your day. That's really what it's all about. Mixmaster Mike Winters had to duck out for this last hour because he is currently probably just now arriving over at Bitter Lake National Wildlife Refuge for the judgment of some dragonfly
Festival, yeah.
Yep.
Judging some art.
The kids' pictures have been submitted, and Mike is going to have to look at children's artwork and place judgment on these children. So a lot of sad kids coming at it today, and Mike, that's all on you, buddy. You're gonna make a lot of kids sad. I hope that's. I hope that really sinks in. No, you're actually. Of course, Mike's gonna. He's gonna use his artistic eye, and he's gonna judge so that we have some great art for this year's Dragonfly Festival. Should be a blast. I can't wait for that festival. I love every single year getting the kids up, taking them out, and my daughter absolutely hates it. She hates dragonflies.
Yeah.
So I might this year let her take the day off and just take Hunter out because he loves it. He has his dragonfly pants, rocks, and he loves all the loud flapping wings of the bugs.
I think he just likes dragons, probably.
Yeah. Oh, he definitely likes dragons. That's a for sure thing. He gets that from his pawpaw.
I remember doing that back when I was like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
It was like back, and it was also I did a painting of Spider-Man.
Oh.
Because it was around the time when the first Spider-Man movie came out, so I basically just mimicked the poster.
Oh, very cool. So you had it next to you and you followed the.
Oh no, I did it from memory, so it didn't look very much like the poster. It just looked like Spider-Man.
Okay, Spider-Man.
Or like what a kid would think Spider-Man looks like.
Nice. That's the where the road started for young artist Roy.
Yes.
Young Art Roy. So I was just sitting here in the studio and I saw something pop up on the TV over here. We have the Fox Now app open. They were advertising something called the Bun Scrambling Competition.
Yeah.
And I'd never in my life heard of a bun scrambling competition. So my 8 brain was like, I got to know what this is. I need to look this up.
It looks like something from MXC or something.
It does kind of resemble something that you would see at on most Extreme Elimination Challenge. So here's what the bun scrambling competition is. Several huge towers are built in the center of an island, and they're covered with plastic buns. Plastic buns. Now, contestants climb up these towers as fast as possible, and they throw as many buns as they can over their shoulders and into their open knapsacks. They're trying to basically, it sounds to me like back in the day when people were foraging for their food, that the people who were climbing the hills or whatever and throwing grains in their knapsacks, they made a game out of it. And this became this national competition that apparently is every year. It's a massive deal in Hong Kong. They hold this competition every single year in Hong Kong.
It does seem something ancient China would like an ancient Chinese pastime.
Ancient Chinese secret. This is the first I've ever heard of it. But yeah, the 2024, and it's called their Bun Carnival. The Bun Scrambling Competition is surrounded by the Bun Carnival. It's the focus and attention of one of the most, it says representative. Hang on, I'm trying to pull up the article here, as I'm just reading on the radio. The Bun Carnival is a festival for, I guess they have a certain type of bun there that's known. I'm not,
because the buns are stuck to the walls of a tower.
Yeah, and basically you have climbers.
So I'm assuming you're able to climb on them.
Well, my assumption again. This is just off of what I've seen. My assumption is that they can grab underneath where the buns are attached because the buns just come off. If that's what they're climbing up, that sounds dangerous as all get out. Like you grab an errant bun, next thing you know, you're falling to your. I'm assuming they're on safety cables or whatever. But yeah, that's the first I've ever heard of the bun scrambling competition. It just goes to show how myopic I am in my viewpoint. I just focus on stuff that's right here in front of me. There's a whole world of nonsense happening, all kinds of weird stuff. Here's another one. I heard about this last week. There was a story that I think it was out of South Carolina. There was a lady who posted a TikTok. I think it was called Mima's something or other. Anyways, she was at her local Sonic, and she pressed the button,
of course,
and ordered a Dr. Pepper with pickles.
Oh.
And the lady who was taking the order, she was so nonchalant about it that apparently it's a thing people do there. Like apparently people are doing this now. Or
I've lost my appetite.
I've gone through a lot of weird Southern trends. My dad used to put peanuts in Dr. Pepper and peanuts in Coke. That was his like thing. He called it pits and a pepper.
Just raw peanuts?
Yeah, just raw. Well, no, roasted salted. Like if you had like a bag of Bender's nuts, he would just take a handful of peanuts and just put them into his bottle of Dr. Pepper. I don't know. I didn't never like it when I tried it. It was his thing. But yeah, apparently people are putting pickles in Dr. Pepper. I've yet to try it. But the lady who was taking the order, she said, "All right, now, honey, I just want to let you know that it's going to say cherries on your order, but that's the pickles, okay?" So she already knew what to do when somebody ordered it.
Yeah.
So it's apparently a thing. I did not know about, but apparently it's totally a thing.
Just drink the new spiced Coke, because I've heard someone describe that as it tasting like pickle juice.
Tastes like pickle. I don't know. I tried it. It tastes like raspberries and then like nothing. Like it tastes like a raspberry nothing.
Well, if you like pickle juice, apparently that's what it tastes like.
I am a man who enjoys his pickle juice. We got to get the hour started because we do have a pretty big interview to run, I believe. Let's see. But real quick, first, I do have to mention to you that the pool's open. No, not our pool. Not our pool. Okay, but your pool, your home pool, it's that time of year. Temperatures are on the rise. The pool is going to be open very, very soon.
I thought you meant the gene pool.
Well, the gene pool is always open. But it's time to make sure that your pool is ready. It's time to visit Mays Lumber in Roswell. They're your BioGuard pool headquarters. Mays Lumber Company has both regular chlorine, including chlorine generators, normal chlorine pool products for chlorine pool generators, and Soft Swim by BioGuard for your non-chlorine products. Preparing and maintaining your pool this summer is an entire job. If you've ever had to keep a pool up, you know it definitely takes a lot. But doing it the right way, that's going to create a season full of smiles instead of headaches. It's going to make your life a lot easier. Make sure your pool is summer ready. You can do that at your summer destination, Mays Lumber Company at 115 South Virginia in Roswell.
Now I'm just imagining Chris Pratt in the pool in Parks and Rec, when he's naked.
Oh, well, there's that. I was going to say on the big pool float, but yeah, I'm not going to ask why Roy's imagining Chris Pratt naked. We should just move on from there. There's a lot of things to unpack in that last statement you just made.
Or running naked.
Hey, however you got to imagine it. 14 minutes after 9 o'clock, we're going to replay the interview that Mike had with the Chaves County Federated Republican Women. Their event is today, so you best get on it, doggone it, if you want to be a part of that and that amazing meal that they're going to be serving up later on today. But that interview coming up with the Chaves County Federated Republican Women here in just a few minutes. But right now, he's rushing in with breaking news.
Sorry, I just saw there's a Renaissance Fair in Ruidoso, the 17th and the 18th.
I'd heard about that, yeah.
Did you know about this?
I had heard about that, yeah. Actually, my girlfriend sent me the link to the map and like all the events that are happening up there. It's a huge deal. Apparently, it's like all of New Mexico is gathering at Ruidoso for this
Yeah, I kind of want to go to that because I missed the Carlsbad one.
Yeah?
Or the Dexter one. No, it was Carlsbad, yeah. There was a one like last year.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like big, like pretty big.
Oh, yeah.
I just found out about it. Lincoln Renaissance Fair.
I would be interested in going, but the problem therein is I feel like I would have to get into costume. Like I couldn't go just as me. Like I've never been to a Renaissance Fair, but I feel like everybody who's there has to be in character, right? It's like you're leaning into the anachronism, and I have no garb.
Just tape some pillows to you and say that as your armor.
There you go. Yeah, this is clearly. But then I'm going to encounter that one guy. There's always that one guy, and now I'm picturing Patton Oswalt, but he's fully dressed. Roy, see how that works? Anyways.
Well, yeah, I don't want to imagine him.
I'm picturing the one guy at the Ren Fair who calls you out for your outfit being historically inaccurate or time period inaccurate while standing there eating spun sugar. Hey, spun sugar was totally a thing in Renaissance times. But yeah, I would be curious to check it out. I just don't have the attire.
I just hope they have mutton.
I'm sure it's going to be like a turkey leg. It's probably what they'll do. Something to that effect. But yeah, mutton is not as common around these parts. Although I did know somebody a while back who made their own mead. They went through the whole process of making their own mead in their garage.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give any more information out because I think that might be illegal. But
did you taste it?
I did not. I never had a chance. But there's apparently you can make mead out of anything. Like any base or whatever I've seen people who make wine out of Mountain Dew.
Oh, kind of like vodka,
Yeah, you can spirit up pretty much anything. But he was making his own mead in his garage, which I thought that was pretty industrious of the fella.
Yeah, we just don't get a lot of Renaissance fairs, so I just figured I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, what would you go as at a Renaissance fair?
Probably just like a try-hard archer with a hoodie.
Well, that's the thing is you're tall, so I think you could probably pull off like a doggone it, the game just escaped my head. Assassin's Creed kind of look. A cloak, just like a hood and a cloak, and then just tie like a rope around your waist. Get one of those burlap bags, and put just some random coins in it, and just attach that to your waist, so it jingles when you walk. So I think you could pull it off. I personally would, if I had my druthers, I would go as I can't think. Is his name Gimli from Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
Yeah.
Gimli.
I'd go as Gimli from Lord.
Big,
fat, kind of I'd have to glue hair onto my chest because I'm not a hairy fella, but and then just carry a battle axe.
I think they sell Nerf axes.
Yeah.
I know they sell Nerf swords, but I don't know if they have axes too.
Reminds me of the meme I saw the other day. You have my sword and my axe, and then this nerdy character popped up. Well, you must have dropped him. That's really funny. I love it. 18 minutes after 9 o'clock, let us pause and take a look at your local weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Sunny and hot today, but we will be cooling off quite a bit by tomorrow with a cold front on the way. In the meantime, we'll be in the mid-90s for the afternoon high today. Overnight, a few clouds, low 60s and windy. Thursday, we do have a chance of some afternoon showers and thunderstorms. We'll be in the upper 70s and low 80s. Back to sunshine on Friday with upper 80s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 76 degrees around Roswell Way. Humidity is at 25% with winds out of the east at around 7 miles an hour. The barometer at 29.85 inches with a dew point of 37 degrees. You can see for miles and miles because we got visibility up to 10 miles on a dust-free Wednesday morning. Looking at a high, once again, a summertime prep course, 93 for the high. Winds going to be relatively calm, 5 to 15 coming out of the south later this afternoon. Partly cloudy with a low of around 60 overnight. Winds out of the south around 15 miles an hour, becoming north after midnight. And then for your Thursday, scattered showers, thunderstorms, afternoon. This is where it gets a little weird and quite frankly, quite nice in my opinion. Some of those storms could be severe, partly sunny, a high of around 77 degrees. 93 for today, 77 for your Thursday. Winds out of the north 15 miles an hour. Chance of precip is 50%. New rainfall amounts between a tenth and a quarter of an inch are possible, except higher amounts are possible in those thunderstorms. 20% chance of rain continues into your Thursday. For your Friday, sunny skies back up to 89 degrees. Not quite as hot, but still warm to warmish. Then the weekend ahead, boy howdy. Sunny and 97 for your Saturday. Sunny and 99 for your Sunday. And then for Monday, 101 degrees for the high in May. Yep. 20 minutes after 9 o'clock, going to pause, pay a couple of these bills, and after these, Mike's interview with the Chaves County Federated Republican Women on a morning partially without Mike Winters. Stay tuned.
Have you been following the campaign for Senate District 32? I'm still undecided.
I met Ezell before, but after 20 years, she's been in office too long. She claims she's tough on the border, but voted to give free health care to illegals. And Ezell even voted to raise her own tax-funded pension 3 times.
Candy Ezell?
That's right, Candy Ezell. She also voted to implement critical race theory in New Mexico.
Critical race theory?
The bill forces school personnel to take annual anti-racism training and rips away local control of schools and hands it to bureaucrats in Santa Fe. Worse, Ezell voted to raise taxes by millions on health care for seniors.
Ouch. Who's Candy's opponent?
Chad Hamill. He's a local business owner and former fire chief in Roswell who is running to secure our border, fix our schools, and keep taxes low.
Chad Hamill. He's got my vote.
Paid for by friends of Chad Hamill.
Edge Safety and Services, LLC in Artesia, New Mexico has an immediate opening for roustabout crew and a safety technician. Position requires a clean driving record and must be able to pass a drug and alcohol screening. Edge Safety offers great pay with IRA benefits and employer contribution towards health benefits. Please email resumes to edgecoding@yahoo.com or apply in person at 2801 North Freeman in Artesia. Edge Safety and Services is an equal opportunity employer.
They're watching you. They see your social media posts. They follow your family, your friends, and your interests online because they're planning on taking your money. All of it. They're con artists. They'll use your social information to build your trust and lure you into once-in-a-lifetime investments with promises of high guaranteed returns. But it can be avoided. The Securities Division of New Mexico's Regulation and Licensing Department can help. Learn to spot the red flags of investment scams at rld.nm.gov/red flags or call 505-476-4580.
Maybe your AC unit needs a little tender loving care. If you don't know where to turn, then you don't know jack. In fact, they're downright funky. Let the boys at Fergie's Plumbing and Heating get your AC unit ice cold, just like some of my lady friends. Don't let any fool make you lose your cool. Fergie's Plumbing and Heating. If you don't know Fergie, then you don't know jack. 632-2660.
You're invited June 15th to downtown Artesia, New Mexico to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Permian Basin's oil and gas industry, marked by the success of Illinois No. 3 well in 1924. Enjoy a day filled with a patriotic equipment parade, food trucks, water slides, live music, an oil field cook-off, snow cones, oil field Olympics, and more. For more information, visit artesiachamber.com or call 575-746-2744. Paid for by Artesia Lodgers Tax.
Are you interested in being an electrical lineman? Well, Central Valley Electric Cooperative is hosting a lineman camp on Thursday, May 30th from 9 a.m. to 12 noon at the CVE office located at 1403 North 13th Street in Artesia. The camp is open to ages 16 to 19. Come and learn some of the skills required to be an electric lineman. Lunch will be provided. For more information and to register, visit cvecoop.org. Come see if you have what it takes to be an electrical lineman on May 30th at our CVE Lineman Camp. We hope to see you there.
Believe it or not, your home insurance company isn't evil. Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing here. A lot of roofers make your insurance company out to be your enemy. They'll talk about fighting and battling your insurance to get you the claim you deserve. But honestly, your insurance company is a group of people just like you and me. That's why we don't treat your roof insurance claim like we're going to war. We treat it like a court case. We provide your insurance company every piece of evidence needed to get you the highest possible claim. We submit photos, videos, detailed documents, and line-by-line estimates. And guess what? Our non-combat approach works. On 92% of roof insurance claims, we get the highest amount the first time. And the rare times we don't, well then, that's when we go to bat for you. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring roof and gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
In southeast New Mexico, our state senator Greg Neibert has a strong conservative record, supporting the right to life, working to protect our conservative values, and standing up for the Second Amendment. That's why he's endorsed by the NRA. Greg Neibert has a record of opposing the liberal progressive Santa Fe agenda. He has consistently stood against illegal immigration, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham's harmful progressive agenda, and policies that try to take away our rights and freedoms. He has stood up for us time and time again, especially when our rights have been under attack. Greg is a champion for our communities, our values, and our way of life. Greg Neibert has a record that we can count on. He is a strong supporter of our oil and gas jobs, which is so essential to southeast New Mexico. We need Senator Greg Neibert in Santa Fe. He is a proven, committed conservative and a strong voice for eastern New Mexico.
Paid for by Greg Neibert for State Senate.
If you plug your nose, you can't tell the difference between an apple, potato, and an onion. unless you open your eyes. Here's Mike Winters.
Welcome back to the morning show, and joining us this morning in studio, we have, of course, Joan Bouet and Janine Cornbest back with us from the Chaves County Federated Republican Women. They're here today, which, that means we're about a week out from our next Chaves County Federated. 2 days, actually. I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I forgot this is the month that the
month.
Tuesdays and the Wednesdays don't line up here. So we're not giving you a 1 week warning. We're giving you a 2-minute warning.
Yes, that's perfect. Perfect.
But first off, welcome back, ladies.
Well,
thank you for having us on here. And for those not familiar, the Chaves County Federated Republican Women kind of do what the title sounds like. They are a support organization for the Republican Party here in Chaves County, and they are much like the party. They're here to promote and to show and help people, the conservative candidates that are running for office here, get you a chance to meet, greet, and vet and learn all about them. And at the same time, but being a service organization for the community as well too. But really, their goal is to help promote and to foster and expand the values that the Republican Party represent, and want to make sure that New Mexico has equal representation of that here. So that's what it's about. So we do it through lots of food and lots of discussions and lots of chances to
the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, but
feed them.
Exactly. Hey, they always said that if you build it, they will come. I'd say if you cook it, they will come.
Exactly.
Is probably a more appropriate.
You are right.
But we are coming up on our next Chaves County Republican Women Federated Republican Women meeting. Like usual, it will be at the Convention and Civic Center. Like usual, there's amazing lunch planned, and like usual, you got some great guest speakers for this one. Probably. Not saying that one meeting is more important than the other, because they're all important, but if you're really trying to decide who best represents you in New Mexico, this meeting you might want to, because all the conservative voices that are running for office will be in the room for this next meeting.
Well, you are absolutely right. It is really always our mission, Mike, to inform and educate the Republican voters here in Chaves County. Mm-hmm. Last month we did have a forum. Any Republican who was in a contested race, and this month we're doing the people that were not able to fit in.
Gotcha.
Because this is huge. So we have this month, which is this Wednesday, Senate District 33, which
Mm-hmm.
is Lynn Crawford, Nick Paul, and Rhonda Romack.
Okay.
We also have.
That's a race I don't have a lot of knowledge on. Some of the other races I've got a little bit.
Over in Lincoln County.
That one I'm a little less knowledgeable on, but there's, again.
They're in Chaves County.
Yeah.
And then we have House District 59, which
Mm-hmm.
is Tracy De La Rosa
Okay.
and Jared Hembry.
Yes.
Then we have County Commission District 2, which is Cliff Wade and Charles Waldrop.
Yeah.
And County Commission District 3, Hub Korn and E.J. Farrat.
So both those races have two new commissioners that are going to serve on the commission.
Exactly.
So you really need to pay attention to the candidates here to see which of these four or two, and because you can't live in two districts, line up with your values and what you believe in.
Correct.
It's interesting that you because you said something to help you identify how you want to vote.
Mm-hmm.
I had two people call and say, we're going to vote after your meeting, after we hear the candidates.
Early voting, what a great way. Do it while it's fresh in your brain and while you're thinking about it. But I'm going to say this, whether you are a voting purist and you're like, election day is the day I vote, and I can see your point, or if you're more into early voting, I don't care which way you do it, but please educate yourself before you do. To whatever you need to come to meetings like this. Go read what the paper has to say. Watch our interviews that we have with the various candidates and things. Get yourself educated. All of the above. Everything you see about them, come to these, ask questions. That's the beauty of the Federated Republican meetings is, after or before the banquet or the meeting there, you get a chance to rub elbows with some of these folks. Shake hands, talk to them, catch them on a one-on-one level, and you learn a little more about a candidate when you get to ask the questions that mean most to you versus you kind of wait and hope for them to say something that lines up with what you're trying to say. You get to say, well, how do you feel about this?
Correct.
What we really want to know, I had a reality check for myself. Here I am, the president of Republican Women, very involved, and I'm saying I don't know most of these candidates, and I need to get to know who they are.
And that's a good thing too, a little bit. And what I mean by that is you need to know them by the time you go to vote, but to see that there's new faces, younger, fresh faces that are stepping up to carry the mantle to the next generation of bringing New Mexico to the middle. I know conservatives the end game, but let's bring it to the middle first.
Yeah. Well, we have a time constraint at the convention center. We only rent that for a short period of time. So when we ask these people to come to be our guest, and they are our guests, we do treat them to lunch. We ask them 3 questions. Number 1, why are you running for office? Number 2, what are your qualifications for running for office? And number 3, what would you hope to achieve if you are elected?
Absolutely. And especially at the level for some of the races we're talking about here, for your county commission, your state representatives, your state senate, by design, and it's a good thing, these are not quote-unquote career politicians. These are people with day jobs. They're farmers, they're ranchers, they're lawyers, they're cooks, they're law enforcement, they have their chosen profession. And by that measure, you get to see why they're there and what they're doing. And this is where the true passion is. They're for office. Some of them are going to tell you it's because I'm mad about what's going on here. Some are, maybe it's a very narrow thing. My son or my daughter had this issue. I want to be a platform for this doesn't happen to the next. Every person that's running for office has a reason, whether it's very personal or a little bit more broad. And this is the chance you get to learn about that. And this is how you learn about a candidate. Because quite frankly, when they get to a certain point, they have the answers. They're going to pull them out. What do you think on abortion? They got an answer that's practiced and researched and they're going to spew it out.
Right.
This is where you get to peel that curtain back and you get to hear them off cuff.
They bring their yard signs. They bring their push cards. They do mingle.
Yeah.
We have a fabulous menu, and you will be
I care about food more than most people.
So Janine has arranged this, so I'll ask her to please
let you know. What is?
So again, we're using peppers.
Peppers, so it's going to be good.
It's going to be good.
The Rowe family once again's on the grill.
Exactly. We have a taco beef, which I'm not quite sure what taco beef is. If that's the name of the steer.
I think it's the type of seasoning that
well,
they
I'm thinking
use,
it's
maybe?
the name of the steer.
Okay. The name is Taco?
Taco.
I like
it. Queso sauce, salsa chips, taco shells to go with the taco.
Sure. Yeah.
Lettuce, tomatoes, jalapenos. So it's beans, rice. So it's a taco bar.
Or
is what it is.
If you want to be like, I'm going to make taco salad. You do you.
You do
shell
you.
up or put a taco shell.
Well, and we have nachos, a nacho bar too. So we'll have queso and all of that.
So you can make it as messy as you want or
Exactly.
as neat as you want.
Oh.
But
Exactly.
pro tip, if you're going to be shaking everybody's hand, maybe go neat.
Exactly.
So you don't get nacho cheese or beans or
Exactly.
all over.
We have a small gift for our mothers, so we'll have that
Mother's
on the
Day
table.
was over the weekend, so
Yes.
just a little
something for the
thing.
moms.
Always got to keep mom.
Yeah.
Remember mom here. 'cause,
Exactly.
Mom's happy, the rest of us are happy.
So
that's true. Well, I think it's a great meal.
Yeah.
The other thing that we're doing, Mike, we have done a few activities since I saw you. We had a contest on patriotism.
Excellent.
And our Americanism chair, Polly Hartman, organized this with the 8th grade students at Gateway, and we had 20 applicants. The students were asked the following.
Okay.
What is the meaning of patriotism? Who is the most patriotic person that you know and why? And what can you do to be more patriotic? So today I would like to announce those winners if I can. So our third...
These are sharp-witted, smart, intelligent youth
There
that we
are
had
4
do this.
people on this committee. My husband is even on the committee, so he helped do some of the judging. These are very well-rounded, very nicely educated young people. We were very impressed.
Excellent. Well-spoken young men and women here.
They got their point across. So our third place winner, which is at $50 and a certificate, went to Emmeline Garcia.
All right.
Our second place, which was also $50, went to Ellie Graves.
Awesome.
And our first place winner went to Joel Torres, and he got $200.
Awesome.
And let me tell you what he said he can do to be more patriotic.
Okay.
When he turns 18, he can register to vote.
You know what? That is the most important thing, because at the end,
It is.
he nailed it.
We were like, this is the kind
That's
of things
exactly right
that we want to hear. So we were thrilled to death.
Because at the end of the day, and I say this every time, that's how you change course. That's how you share how you feel this country should be handled, or this city, or this whatever you're voting for at that time. It's the vote. The rest is noise.
Correct.
The rest is noise trying to steer you into one direction or another. That's why the meetings like this one coming up in 2 days are so important, because you get to hear the people that you're checking or not checking the boxes on next to here. You get to hear what they say. You get to hear what they feel. You get to cut through the spin. You get to cut through other people's opinions of them, and you get to hear it directly from the people that are hoping to work for you. So please, that's why these are so important. We live in a world, and the older I get, the more sad it makes me feel, is that we used to grow up in a world where you turn on the news at night and you could rely that what you're getting is news.
Truthful.
And we don't live in that world anymore. And unfortunately, we're dealing with a generation of people that know that and are aware of that, and a generation of people that still think the news is their friend. And that's creating a lot of confusion, a lot of misinformation, a lot of people thinking fact is fact that isn't fact. And so now more than ever, you need to be the one in the room hearing exactly from the horse's mouth, so to speak, on what's going on with some of this.
Correct.
Well, I'll tell you, we have a large crowd tomorrow. I know Janine just called in the number of just people eating.
There's 88 eating, and we have over 100 people sitting.
Excellent.
So it's going to be a really
packed house,
big,
and
really
good, and they'll make
meeting.
more room.
They will.
Well,
Yeah, it's at the convention center.
If you want to get some decent Adam Road tacos and stuff, then you better do that quick. But if you're all substance and no meat in this particular case,
there'll be plenty of iced tea.
Then we'll have then we'll get you in there and
Correct.
do all that. But please, and then of course, if you want to get more involved, if you find a candidate that you love and you're saying, give me some yard signs.
Yep.
Can I
They'll
knock
go
on
to door.
doors?
Absolutely.
This is an opportunity for that. And of course, also, if you want to get more involved in you're like, well, maybe not a candidate, but I love what the Chaves County Federated Republican Women are doing. We would love, and guess what? Men are welcome to be a part as well. You will serve in like an alumni.
Right.
But it is, yes. The spouses, the wives, the women are, it's their organization. The men serve auxiliary or in any support role.
Associate members
and things like that. But they're equally busy. And so so you can do it as a maybe husband-wife kind of thing, or wife gets involved and eventually drags the husband in, because that's what's going to happen.
Well, we have one other contest that we've done, and that is our scholarship.
Yes.
And Janine sets up a table every month, and we call it a door prize. All the money that we collect from that door prize goes into our scholarship fund.
Excellent.
So this year we had $2,000 to give. We had several applicants. We chose the top two. So they are each getting $1,000. One is Elizabeth Berry, and one is Daley Burge.
Well, congratulations
and they are
to both of them.
Yes, they are both seniors at Gateway.
All right, so
we were incredibly impressed.
They're having a busy time of year right now, because they're
very
sizing
busy.
up the caps and gowns and sending out those cards so their relatives and friends can send them copious amounts of cash.
Exactly.
I've got a few of those in the mail already.
This is the season.
You.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
But we're so proud, and congratulations to them. So keep sending the checks. They get money, but they're going to need more. But and what the great part about it too is your scholarship recipients aren't they don't walk in a room and say, "Here's a check, good job." They earn this stuff.
Yes,
they work
they do.
they work with the Federated Republic of Women, serving. Sometimes they're out helping at the luncheons. Sometimes they're, like you said, doing essay writing, doing some of that, the scholar type things. Our youth members, everyone that they've earned these scholarships, and to be honest, whatever they take direction they go with, you feel it's like, hey, this is going to the future of America by what you're doing there, whatever path these people decide that's their journey, they're going.
I think we should
good
have
things.
you as one of our judges next year.
Maybe I could do that. I judge. I don't know. I'm not the smartest or the brightest bulb in the door there, but
I think you would be so impressed with the
that I guarantee.
quality of applications.
Because I see a little bit with our American Legion. I see, and any day I have one of those days where I just see everything online, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Then I go to something like the fairgrounds and talk to FFA kids, or I go to something like this, my historical society, and then we talk and read some of their because they're doing scholarships and things too, and reading some of the essays and stuff, and that's when I'm like, my faith gets restored. I'm like, we got a barrel of idiots out there, but there are some kids that have their head on straight, that are really doing good things, and these kids, we got to support, foster, and nurture that, because we're getting closer to being the get off my lawn people grass, and we need them to start up doing the work that needs to be done here. So passing this baton off to a generation of what America is supposed to represent.
Correct. These are two very conservative Republican young ladies.
Great to hear that.
Which is one of the criteria. For our contest.
Absolutely, and so please come. Will they be at? Or they might be in school. So I don't know.
No, they are coming.
Oh, good. So you can come meet them here at the luncheon.
These two young ladies will be there on Wednesday.
Well, great. Come and shake their hands and come see for yourself how bright these kids
and their parents are coming to support them.
And for Pete's sake, wipe the nachos off your hand.
Yeah.
Exactly. Don't come all cheese handed on them. But again, come out this here in 2 days. Come out, RSVP by just shooting a message to the Chaves County Federated Republican Women on Facebook, or if you know a Federated Republican Women member, you just please tell them I'm coming and RSVP me and 2 people or whatever it is.
Yep.
And then come on. Like I said, if you want to eat, more than welcome to. But if you're not hungry or on a diet or trying to keep the girlish figure, whatever it is, come for the information.
Please.
Stay for the nachos and
please
tacos and everything else, and get involved. If you find candidates out there that you're really liking what they're saying, talk to them, help them, because especially when you're talking about state representatives and county commission and that level, these folks, they're like you. They're business people. They're not politicians per se. They have a day job. They just have a concern and a care for their country and their county and their state, just like everybody else here. So, support the ones you really think are doing are lining up with what you did. This is what this is about. And I say it every time. If you want a better community and you're waiting on someone else to do it, you're going to be waiting a while. You got to roll.
Time.
Get involved.
Get involved. And if you don't, if it's not running for office, then supporting the organizations and things that line up with the values that you think are important for our community. Volunteer. Get involved.
Exactly.
Get involved. If you're looking for volunteer, there's lots of ways through the Federated Republic of Women to serve and volunteer.
We will find a job for you.
If you're passionate something else, youth mentors, coaching, you're great. Go get into sports. But pick your passions and make our community better. Good deal. Sorry, I got a little soapbox at the end.
That's okay.
Well, we appreciate you.
Anytime. Is there anything we wanted to get out there, anything we wanted to mention that we just spaced on or skipped on?
Well, one thing that we are doing is called Family Month Project.
Okay.
This was recognized in Congress back, I think, in 1975, Janine.
Yeah.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
No, I don't have my information.
Okay. Well, it is under Janine's organization, which is Caring for America.
Okay.
And what we've done is we have sent out emails to people about the value of family and to embrace family. And then what we've done is asked you, once you get that email, send that to 10 people. So we're really doing well. We have about 1,039 emails that have been sent and responded to,
and more to be spread.
And more to be spread.
So come out to the meeting here later, and if you want more, Janine can kind of clue you in, or any of the Republican women can be happy to.
They certainly can.
And then don't forget, get there a few minutes early. Like, a lot of the candidates will be mingling and walking around, and it's a great time to shake hands and introduce yourself, and they'll be happy to talk to you too. That's what they're there for. And really, and if you want to get more involved, I don't know, I guess we're probably off of lists and things, because usually the last few meetings there's been some different things we're asking people to sign, but I think we're past all those.
Oh, petitions.
Yeah,
petitions and what have you.
They're done. Thank goodness.
So no more of those, but come support and learn about and then that's another thing too, is even the ones that aren't necessarily going to be speaking, they'll probably be there talking or in the room, supporting. So you get to meet and talk with them, and if you want to get more involved in their campaigns, they'll be happy to put you in touch with the people that can help you do that.
Correct.
And I'm telling you, if you want to get active in making our community a better place, and you're not happy with or you're happy, or whatever it is, if you want to get involved, starts by coming to events like this. So
Correct.
RSVP, come eat 12 tacos and come learn all about some great
Exactly.
Well, we thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to speak to you this morning.
Anytime.
Janine and I have become kind of a team doing this.
That's right.
And we want to thank you for letting us be on your show.
Anytime.
Many people do listen because I get feedback.
Well, good. Yeah, I usually find out when I screw up.
Oh.
That's when I hear pretty quick that people listen. If I do, that's the days I'll have something with great stuff, crickets. But then I'll say something like something I know later. All of a sudden,
Yep.
Yeah.
All that feedback comes.
So that's all right. That's my own test. I'll say something weird like, I don't know, like Ronald McDonald is actually green, and then just see what they. Might get a few phone calls now.
They probably bought that.
But come out, come have lunch, come have, come be social. Come.
Exactly.
If you're looking to make friends and all that, we
Get
talk
out of the
about the
house.
serious side of this, but shoot, you're looking for some people that act and think like you and just want to hang out and create, it might be your next card circle or your next lunch buddies or something like that. And you met at a Chaves County Federated Republican Women meeting.
Correct.
So come on out, get involved, and please, for the love of God, when you do vote here, vote educated.
Yes.
Whether it's early voting or on election day here and on primary day here in June, get out there and vote educated.
Correct.
Thank you.
I can, even if I don't agree with you, if you've got answers and things that you believe in, I can respect that if it's legit. But anyway, sorry, soapbox.
You're good.
Thank you, ladies. We appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you for having us.
Anytime. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back. Don't go away.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Thank you.
Will be provided during the work on both streets. Other traffic, however, is being detoured. Roswell police getting reports of a local resident getting a scam phone call. The caller claims to be an RPD officer and uses the name of a real RPD officer. The scammer tells the person there was a warrant for their arrest and they needed to pay a certain amount of money or they would be arrested. This is a scam. Never send money in any form in response to such a call. Also, never provide any personal or financial information. Law enforcement does not make phone calls of this type. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
This is State Representative Candy Spence-Ezell. I'm a lifelong farmer and rancher. And for the past decade, I've been watching the radical policies of the so-called progressives in Santa Fe rapidly chip away at our traditional way of life. I've served in the state house for quite a while, and I'm known for saying no to Governor MLG every chance I get. I'm running now for the state senate, where I have a greater impact in fighting for our economic development, our rights, our freedoms, and our Western way of life. I'm a life member of the NRA. In my time in the legislature, I have received an A+ rating from the NRA every year I've been in office. I am unshakably pro-Second Amendment and always stand up to those trying to destroy our Constitution. I'm Candy Spency Zell, asking for your vote in the upcoming Republican primary on June 4th.
Paid for by Candy Spency Zell for State Senate, District 32.
Your morning cup of Sean. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
And Blanche pressing Cohn to say that he lied to them about the Trump organization's proposal to build a Trump-branded skyscraper in Moscow. Cohn replied, yes, the information I gave was not accurate. The Trump's lawyer says, was it a lie? Well, I don't know if I would characterize it as a lie. It was inaccurate. Okay, was it a lie? It wasn't a lie. It wasn't truthful. If you want me to call it a lie, we can call it a lie. I believe the information I gave them is inaccurate. So you're not testifying it's a lie. Sure, I'll say it's a lie. I mean, just imagine if you're a witness. I mean, if you're on the jury and the witness is acting this way.
The conservative underground meets later today on the Sean Hannity Show.
Hey guys, breaking news. Did you hear that gold hit an all-time high? And based on market analysis, it could soar even higher. With inflation increasing, global tensions escalating, and central banks buying gold at record levels, the gold boom could skyrocket to over $7,000 an ounce. In fact, experts claim that the gold investing madness is just getting started. And that's why we partnered with the highest-rated gold company, Goldco. They have earned over 5,000 five-star reviews from tens of thousands of happy customers who have diversified their savings with gold and silver. Today, Goldco is offering you up to 8 years in free IRA fees plus 8% instant match in bonus silver with a qualified account. Call 855-815-GOLD for free IRA fees, bonus silver, and a free gold and silver info kit. What are you waiting for? Join the tens of thousands of people who have already joined the gold rush and diversified their savings with gold and silver. Call 855-815-GOLD now. That's 855-815-GOLD now.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Sunny and hot today, but we will be cooling off quite a bit by tomorrow with a cold front on the way. In the meantime, we'll be in the mid-90s for the afternoon high today. Overnight, a few clouds, low 60s and windy. Thursday, we do have a chance of some afternoon showers and thunderstorms. We'll be in the upper 70s and low 80s. Back to sunshine on Friday with upper 80s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
During his time in the New Mexico legislature, Senator Greg Nybert has been instrumental blocking legislation from the liberal progressives in Santa Fe that would harm our way of life in this part of the state. Senator Greg Nybert is the only candidate for Senate District 27 who has the proven ability and expertise to fight against Santa Fe needlessly imposing their will upon us. Greg Nybert is a lifelong resident of southeast New Mexico and knows this part of the state well. Greg is for strong border controls, Second Amendment rights, pro-life, and local control of our school board, and opposes illegal immigration, lenient criminal laws, and restrictive regulations against agriculture and the oil and gas industry. Please vote for Greg Nybert, a proven and experienced conservative champion for Senate District 27.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Senate.
Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company, here to announce that our geraniums are ready. So now the great debate begins. Are they pink or are they raspberry sorbet? Are they orange or are they Caribbean coral? Well, whatever you call them, they're the prettiest geraniums anywhere. We raise them in our own greenhouse, then send them home with you to brighten up the world. So come get yours now while the selection is best. Don't worry about the silly names.
I heard that.
Yes, dear. Coming, dear. Right away, dear. Of course, you're right.
Have you been following the campaign for Senate District 32? I'm still undecided.
I voted for Candy Zell before, but after 20 years, she's been in office too long. She claims she's tough on the border, but voted to give free health care to illegals, and Zell even voted to raise her own taxpayer-funded pension 3 times.
Candy Azell?
That's right, Candy Azell. She also voted to implement critical race theory in New Mexico.
Critical race theory?
The bill forces school personnel to take annual anti-racism training and rips away local control of schools and hands it to bureaucrats in Santa Fe. Worse, Azell voted to raise taxes by millions on health care for seniors.
Ouch. Who's Candy's opponent?
Chad Hamill. He's a local business owner and former fire chief in Roswell who is running to secure our border, fix our schools, and keep taxes low.
Chad Hamill. He's got my vote.
Paid for by friends of Chad Hamill.
I read a quote once that said, "When you blame others, you give up your power to change." Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
We all want to play the victim at times. It even feels good to feel sorry for ourselves. But that puts a lid on our life. It stunts our growth, it damages our marriages, and if you have children, it can even hurt them.
It can seem like a daunting task to take responsibility for our actions. But the Bible says in Philippians 4:13, we can do everything through Christ who gives us strength.
If you've never experienced the love of God, then you don't know your true potential and don't realize how good God is. When you're feeling like a victim, turn to God. He'll give you the strength to move beyond yourself and help you have a victorious marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
It takes a long time to develop trust. At LaGrone Funeral Chapel, they've been earning your trust for decades. They understand how important it is to friends and family to celebrate a life in the way you choose. The professionals at LaGrone will ease your stress and anxieties. They'll provide the guidance you need to select a service that's appropriate. And that's what they've been doing for generations, earning your trust and doing the right thing. LaGrone Funeral Chapel and Crematory, 900 South Main in Roswell. Online at LaGroneFuneralChapels.com.
Have you been admitted to the University of New Mexico? Then it's time to sign up for new student orientation. Whether you're an incoming freshman, transfer, or non-traditional student, at NSO, you'll learn the ins and outs of life as a Lobo. From class schedules to student activities, services and resources to campus living, plus everything in between. So, are you Lobo ready? Your time at UNM begins at NSO. Register for your orientation at nso.unm.edu or apply to UNM at apply.unm.edu.
It's been a long, cold, boring winter, and children in neighborhoods everywhere are waiting to hear those magical words. The pool's open! Summer weather has finally rolled around. Make sure your pool is ready. Preparing and maintaining your pool for summer the right way will create a season full of smiles instead of headaches and make your life much easier. Soft Swim, the chlorine-free sanitizing system by BioGuard, only at Mays Lumber Company.
You can count on Mays Lumber Company.
Wakefield Oil Express has the highest quality service in Roswell with a 17-point full-service oil change that includes a full wash and vacuum at their car wash. You won't find a better deal. They also offer full synthetic oil changes, fuel and cabin filter replacements, and will even check your battery. Their tunnel wash isn't afraid of dirty vehicles. They have the best value wash in town with free vacuums. They even offer wash passes that can be used for multiple vehicles. Next time you need your oil changed, go to the fast and efficient Wakefield Oil Express and let them earn your business. 3204 North Main, Roswell.
Yes, cannabis is legal in New Mexico. Know that there are helpful rules for responsible cannabis use. Yes, you should only buy from a licensed dispensary. Know that if you don't, yours might contain harmful substances. And yes, lock up all cannabis safely away from kids and pets in a safe place. And know that cookie jars are not good options. Know your yeses and nos about all things cannabis. From the State of New Mexico Cannabis Control Division. Go to yesandnosnm.com.
You may be wondering why an Eastern New Mexico rancher wants to be part of our state senate. The answer is simple. I want our conservative values heard in Santa Fe. My name is Pat Boone, and I'm running for New Mexico Senate District 27. This beautiful state is primarily rural land, and my family's been ranching here since 1884. I'll fight for your land rights, your parental rights, and your right to bear arms. I'd appreciate your Republican primary vote on June 4th.
Paid for by the committee to elect Pat Boone, Mark McKay, Treasurer.
The need to grow past our basic capabilities and experience the impossible will forever keep aviation technology evolving.
furnishings slip down. Analysts cite high interest rates and a string of elevated inflation readings that have weighed on consumer sentiment and dimmed hopes that the worst bout of inflation in 4 decades could be tamed rapidly. Jennifer King, Washington.
Also at townhall.com, President Biden and former President Trump have agreed to hold 2 campaign debates in June and September. The first on June 27th, hosted by CNN, but their camps appear to be far apart on key details, like the ground rules for the presidential face-offs. Vladimir Putin tells Chinese media he is prepared to negotiate an end to the Ukraine conflict.
Vladimir Putin, on the eve of a visit to Beijing, says his regime is prepared to negotiate over the conflict in Ukraine. The official Xinhua news agency quotes Putin saying, "We're open to a dialogue, but such negotiations must take into account the interests of all countries involved in the conflict, including ours." Putin adds, Moscow is seeking a comprehensive, sustainable and just settlement of this conflict through peaceful means. I'm Charles Philathesma.
Stocks are rising with hope that inflation is heading back in the right direction. The Dow is up 225 points. The NASDAQ Composite Index adding 154. More at townhall.com.
Donald Trump's indictment